me gravity. I'll give it to you. Show me gravity acting on gas.
That has mass, and gases.
Awesome. Show it to me. Awesome. Show it to me. Show me gravity acting on gas. Do it. Go and show it to me. You're making a claim about. Hold on. You're making a claim about physical. You're making a claim about physical reality. So show me the physical reality.
Yeah, it's a good question.
We have in our atmosphere.
The Farmers Boy, how can we demonstrate this claim then?
There it is in the video.
Watch that video. There's a barometer on the phone measuring the air pressure. We have a pressure gradient due to gravity.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Right, so you've got a pressure. Hold on, can I answer?
Moya, come on.
You've got a pressure gradient. You've got a pressure gradient. There's a pressure gradient. Awesome. That's
going.
Fine. That's brilliant. But I want you to show me gravity acting on a gas.
I don't care what
pressure gradient.
Wait a minute. I don't care why you think that gradient is. I don't care why the gradient is there. It's there, and it keeps going.
Yeah. There's a pressure gradient, right? But
I want
you to. That's awesome. I want you to show me gravity acting on gas.
I don't care about gravity at the moment. I'm talking about the pressure gradient.
Hold on.
That's caused by gravity.
So excellent. So you show me gravity acting on gas. Show it to me. It disperses in all direction. Hold on. If you're not going to listen,
it's not dispersing. Otherwise, that gradient wouldn't be there.
So gas doesn't disperse in all directions, then, no?
No, there's a gradient.
There's a gradient.
Hold on. So when I have a vacuum chamber and I impart gas into the vacuum chamber that hasn't got any gas in it, does it go down and is pulled to the floor? Or does it disperse in all directions and isn't affected by the gravity you claim?
Who says
it's
affected by the gravity? It isn't affected by the gravity that you claim, is it?
No, there's still a gradient.
Show it to me then.
What happened?
Show me Here we go. Not a problem. You can show all you want. I don't give a fuck. But you can't show me gravity acting on gas. You can't show me. You can't show it to me. That's a gas pressure gradient. Gas pressure gradient. I don't give a shit. You can't show me.
Okay, we're losing order. We're losing. Can't hear anybody. Can't hear anybody. Where do we go from here?
In your example,
go ahead, Moya.
In your example with the vacuum chamber, it will establish a gradient immediately as soon as you put the gas in there.
Yeah.
Which direction does the gas go? Is it down? Hold on. Is it down, as in attracted to the floor, as in when you drop a solid object, that's what the gas does too? No, the gas does. Hold on.
The gas that you're putting in there.
Yeah. But the gas, whichever one it is, will disperse in all directions and press on the limitation of its environment. You move that boundary, the gas disperses into the next limitation of its environment, unless you can show me gravity acting on gas, which you can't.
But the gradient shows that.
Before you keep going, you need to figure out that the density of the gas is going to be...
Dude, I could show you a fucking easy experiment that could show you fucking gravity acting on gas.
Awesome. Show it to me.
All you gotta do...
Right. Let's put it like this. Let's put it like this.
JEDI, you're overdriving your main man.
Chris, stop mumbling like that.
It's really quite simple.
Thank you.
All right. So show me a mass, attracting a gas.
Okay.
Hold on. We already said that we are going to do that. So.
Okay, here's I'm gonna lay out a table, right? Little fucking four-legged table. It's 4 feet off the ground. All right. So I'm the fucking science teacher class today. All right. Get a fucking bottle of liquid nitrogen. Put it in a box.
I'm sorry, I gotta stop here. I have to stop. You got another super chat. We've got to read out the super. And I told you.
Oh, fuck you.
I told you guys that when we bring it back to the most important point
on the table and watch the vapors.
I've got to read the super chat.
Eagle.
Eagle, there's a super chat, and that's $2. Sorry, Jedi. This is for $2 from C4.
Kimo, you could actually learn to use some discernment as to when to read the super chat and stop people. You cannot just stop them randomly in the middle of sentence and point.
Right, fair enough.
Go to Jose's and learn how to do it. He constantly interrupts people. But
well, let him
he
get
wait
out
for
now.
a good moment.
I mean, he's done it now, so let him get it out.
Just let him get it out.
You almost gave him an
Look,
out
we're
there.
getting paid tonight, guys. I told you, didn't I? This is what I said to you.
Right, well, fucking read the super
I
chat.
did tell you,
Why
didn't
do you
I?
want me to do it, Chemo? I prefer if you do it, actually.
All right, we're not going to
Yeah,
give
in
it
any
up. We're
case,
going to go
Kimo,
right.
go
We're going
ahead.
to go right
No,
back to where
Chris,
we
you
were.
wanna
Right?
read
So
it
go
out,
ahead and let
actually,
Kimo
yeah.
read this out.
Not
I will read
particularly,
it.
no, Chemo, what does it
I
say?
will
Jem is
read
here.
it.
Jem
Yes.
is here.
Hi, Jen.
I'll read it. Thank you very much for the super chat, C4. This guy sounds like a Jedi of stupidity.
Oh, yes.
But we're getting paid.
Oh,
We're getting
I
paid.
love
We're getting
it.
paid. That's the most
Oh,
important
yeah.
thing. Like I said. So yeah, sorry. Carry on.
No,
Carry
come-
on. I didn't mean. Yeah, carry on.
Sorry, Jedi.
Sorry, somebody gave
but
it. Sorry,
if we get
not
paid,
a problem.
if we get paid,
Not
we
a
have
problem.
to say it.
Yeah.
Not a problem, my friend. Not worried. So we were back to the example of dry ice, and all dry ice is denser than the atmosphere that it's in. I'm asking you very fucking clearly, how do you stop gas from dispersing into an available area without a physical barrier to stop it? Or can you show me mass attracting gas?
A gradient.
Yeah, we can do mass of the fucking floor. The mass, the air mass, the hot. Dude, do you know how gases work? Do you know, like, what the fuck?
Well, this is what I'm trying to understand with you, my friends, because at the moment gas is dispersed in all directions and is not observably affected by your gravity. So you don't even have a natural observed phenomena in the first place.
So where the
You
hell
don't
does the
have a
gradient
nat-
come from?
You don't have a naturally observed phenomena in the first place to make this assertion.
We have an observed gradient. Where the hell does that come
Diffusion. You don't even know how to
Jedi.
You're the one who's telling me that we've got a gas pressure gradient
Jedi.
because gravity runs out with
No,
distance
wait a
from
minute.
the center
Wait a
of
minute.
mass.
I'm telling you we have a gradient. Tell me why.
I'm not telling you why. I don't know. We have a gas pressure gradient. The only way that I can demonstrate, hold on. The only way that I could ever demonstrate a gas pressure gradient to you is within a container and changing the energy within the system.
Okay, well,
Okay.
wait a minute.
Oh, that's fine. If that's not true.
Let's forget about why the gradient is there for the moment, and let's just consider that the gradient keeps going.
Literally need you to do this. Show me mass attracting a gas.
You're getting off. We diverted from the original topic. I don't care why the gradient is there. It's there, and it keeps going.
Can I ask a question? If we're going to have answers coming back, can we please do one at a time? Because there's 3 or 4 speaking at a time, and nobody can understand. I know I can't, let alone a live stream. Can we choose one person to answer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's fine. Also, can I make a small request? I think we heard the question already, so can I make a request that Jedi not repeat it too much after this? Because I think we got I think we got the point.
Cool. So answer it with a physical
water
demonstration.
up in a canister and you fucking you let it pour out. That's gravity force. What is a waterfall, dude? Why isn't it?
Right. So what? Hold on. Sorry, you're talking about water. Hold on. Hold on. Why are you talking about water? I am talking about gas, not fucking water.
Don't
Then
interrupt.
let him answer the question properly then. I'm not talking about water.
Back away from your microphone, memory of a goldfish. You were told 60 seconds ago to do it.
No.
What is wrong with you?
Why is he talking about water? I'm not talking about
It's okay. He's not going to.
Gravity is a red herring here.
Get away.
The topic was about space. We have a gradient. That gradient keeps going unless you have any evidence to show otherwise.
Can you demonstrate to me gas not dispersing into an available volume without a physical barrier to keep it there? Show me.
I showed you a
An
gradient with
available
no
space.
barrier. I showed you a gradient with no
That's
barrier.
a gradient.
Yeah, and
That's a gradient.
And I suggest that gradient keeps going. I see nothing to block it from keeping going. Do you have any evidence otherwise?
Yeah.
What evidence?
I can only demonstrate. I can only demonstrate to you gas pressure with something for the gas to press upon because it's limited within the volume of a physical boundary. And if I want to keep the gas there, I must physically stop it with that boundary.
Okay.
When I
wait a
remove
minute.
that boundary, guess what happens to the gas? It fucks off.
Okay,
mate.
wait a minute.
Obviously.
Let me respond. We've got a boundary. We've got the ground. We've got another boundary, if you want to call it that, the surface of my air pressure, my barometer.
Where's your boundary in the sky?
I don't need one. I am suggesting
Why
that
not?
the gradient.
Why
I am
not?
suggesting that the gradient keeps going. There is no boundary
Great
in that gradient. Let me finish. There is no boundary in that gradient from 0 feet to 5 feet. Why would I expect there to be a boundary from that to 500,000 feet or 500 miles or 500,000 miles or on and on? Why would I expect a boundary anywhere?
Because you know that to keep gas in a space, you must physically contain it. When you remove the physical container, the gas disperses into the next available space.
That's not
You're
dispersing.
saying there's an available.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
No, Jedi. If
You're
that were the case,
saying
it would be
there's-
heading upward.
Before you keep going, we see
Back away
that
from
the
the
gas is not
damn
dispersing
mic.
evenly. We see that the gas is dispersing in a gradient.
He's repeatedly said he refuses to back away from his microphone.
Brenda.
But what we see
Don't
is the
need to.
gas does not disperse evenly.
No, there's
We see that the
there's
gas
no-
disperses in a gradient. I see no reason that that gradient will not just keep going.
Yeah, Jedi, when you had backed away like about 2 minutes ago, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Honey, you don't even realize that he's not realizing it just moves in. Like I said, everybody, calm down. Could you possibly
until he figures it out.
move your mic a little bit more, turn your mic down, hon? I know your mic's pretty damn well. It's pretty good. It's really good.
And let's calm down. I mean, again, these globers are not as bad as you think. I know from the outside they're like monsters and that kind of stuff. But what the good thing about these guys is that they will give you
That's not
answers.
true, Chemo. I am a monster. I'm a monster, Chemo.
Oh,
I am.
Brenda.
Honest, I am.
Brenda.
Anyway, one tip, Jedi: if you can't move your mic farther away easily, just turn it around.
You may not like the answers, Jedi, but that's the point. We have to go through their bad answers and debunk them.
No,
and, you know all that
cunts
stuff.
just don't like reality. That's what it is.
So,
We're talking about reality.
So Jedi is asking. Jedi is asking for a demonstration of gas and it not just expanding into available space. And one way he can do that is he can take off his shoes and socks, stand by his refrigerator, and open the door, and he will feel the cold air that will come over his toes and make his little chubby toes, little piggy toes, cold, but the rest of his body will still be warm. And that is
Sorry,
cold.
do you actually think that's an answer to my question?
Yes.
That's nowhere near an answer to my question.
Yes. Then
I'm
why does
asking you.
why does the cold air stay on the bottom?
You repeated the question really eloquently at the beginning, then you failed completely to answer it at the end. Fucking mind-boggling.
Why does the cold
I want a
air- why does the
demonstration.
cold air stay
I
on
want
the
a
bottom?
demonstration. Listen, I want you to answer this question, and all of you have failed for the last 10 minutes. I want a physical demonstration because you're making a claim about physical reality. So show me the physical reality demonstration that backs your fucking claim. I want you to show me gas not. Listen, I want you to show me gas not dispersing into an available volume without a physical barrier keeping it there. Now you know as well. Hold on. No, you haven't.
Yes,
5,000 feet,
No, you
10,000
haven't.
feet, 15,000 feet,
I want
20,000
a
feet.
physical-
There's your
Put your voice
physical
up, bruv.
fucking demonstration,
No.
you midget.
No. Oh, yeah, midget. Well done, mate. That's all that you've got. A declaration about your belief in what reality is.
Jedi,
Well done.
refrigerators.
So can you?
What a
Can you? Show
That's not
me.
a fucking belief, you idiot.
Yes, we
Those
can.
are facts.
Show me. Show me your facts. Show me your facts. Show me your facts. Physical claim. You're making a claim about physical reality. Then show me the physical reality that backs your claim. Show me
The gradient. The gradient.
Yeah, you can't show me fuck
just
all.
did.
Yeah,
I
you
just
can.
did.
Yeah, you just say no.
Can't show me fuck all.
I just did.
Right.
So
Where
why
does
is the air
this-
pressure lower at the top of Mount Everest?
It's lower than it is down here. That's a gas pressure gradient. I can only demonstrate to you within a container because we've got pressure.
But why is the air pressure lower higher up than it is down here, and there's no container?
Because it's a gas pressure gradient, and ultimately the majority
there's no
of this
reason that
fucking
that gradient
system
can't just keep
is
going.
produced at ground level. The majority of the energy is down here too. Are you fucking surprised by this?
Now, wait a minute.
Even within your
Wow,
own
you really
model,
are a deluded
your
twat. Oh, you
gradient
haven't got a
system
fucking clue
is
about
literally.
science and thermodynamics
Oh,
or anything else.
Oh,
Now, wait a minute.
oh,
There's
oh,
no
that's
gas
a
being
fun.
produced
Hold
on
on,
my carpet.
hold on.
No,
Two
there's no gas
seconds.
being produced
Let's
in
go.
my laminate floor. Must have been.
What, on the water evaporation?
What
There's
produces the
no
gradient on the
water
flat
cycle.
Jedi? What produces the gradient on the flat Earth? What's responsible for the gradient?
Energy and the different productions is actually within your own model.
What do you mean the different productions?
biological cycle. Do you know what the
What's
biological
being produced by my carpet?
Slacker, let Jake have a go a second, because you did have a bash. Let Jake have a bash.
Wow, he's fucking clueless.
I mean, I've heard this argument before that the gas is being emitted. That the gas is being emitted from the surface, which is creating.
Hold on. Let's go back to my man. He says I'm fucking clueless. Oi, my man, can you physically show me anything to back your claim? Anything at all, without pointing up at the sky and making a declaration based on the belief that you can't physically show me?
Yes, the atmospheric pressure decreases the height.
And that's a declaration.
Yeah, that's reality.
That's observation.
That's a declaration based on your belief.
Jedi,
but you've got no physical demonstration to back your claim.
That's exactly what you did,
very
Jedi.
simple.
Boy.
The higher you go, the lower the air pressure gets.
Jedi, do you know what a chest freezer is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you open.
I want you to
open
show
lid,
me
so you
gas not
just
dispersing. Brenda, shut up.
Be
For
quiet
fuck's
when I'm
sake,
answering
man.
you. Be
Shut
quiet.
up. You're
when
not.
you open the lid,
Because now you're going to freezers. Not interested in freezers.
It's
I
cold
don't
air.
care about
It's cold
freezers,
air.
mate.
That's
I'm
the
interested in
demonstration.
how you stop gas from dispersing
Cold
into
air
an
is
available
gas.
space
Gravity.
without
Cold air is
a-
gas. Cold air is gas.
Yes, I'm not
and
talking
it's
to
heavy.
you. That's
and
great.
It stays,
Brenda, don't care. Somebody just said gravity, so let's have an interesting conversation.
It stays in the
That's great.
freezer when you
Brenda,
open the lid.
that's lovely. Mate,
It doesn't.
that's great.
It
That's a
doesn't
lovely
fuck off.
story.
It doesn't
Who said
fuck
gravity?
off into the rest of the air.
Who said gravity?
Well,
Who
you
said
keep
gravity?
interrupting me, so I'm just going to keep talking.
Brenda, hold on.
until
So,
he
Brenda,
shuts
That's
the fuck
fine,
up.
no
Brenda,
one's
okay, so you're making Brenda.
So the point is, the point is that when you open a freezer, the air is cold and heavy, and it stays in the freezer. It doesn't expand to fill the room.
Okay.
That's what he asked for. That's a physical demonstration. When you open the lid to
Brenda,
a
you just
chest
said
freezer,
that.
the air. Because I keep getting interrupted,
No, you
so I'm going
didn't
to
get
start
interrupted.
again. Every time you interrupt me, I'm going to start
Nobody's
again.
interrupting you, Brenda.
That you are, you moron. Shut up.
This place is.
So when you open
the lid to a chest freezer,
Brenda,
the cold air
variables equal. We don't want to change the variables of temperature.
Shut up.
An interruption.
Just shut up.
You're talking about something completely
Shut
different.
up, percent. Shut your fucking mouth.
Oh, well, I shan't.
Yes,
You
shut
can't
your
answer the question.
shithole. Shut your
You can't
shithole.
answer the question. You can't answer the question.
I
Next
can't
person,
because you
please.
keep
Yes,
interrupting
he
me.
can because
So the point
you
is
keep interrupting her, so she can't.
Yeah, when you open the lid, the heavy air stays in the freezer. It doesn't expand to fill the room. It doesn't. It stays there. That's your physical demonstration of cold air being held down by gravity, you fucking mong.
Right, let's do this again. I want you to show me. Let's do this again. When I say available space, vacuum, I want you to show me gas not dispersing into that available space, vacuum.
The gradient.
Without a physical, yeah, here we go again. Atmosphere. Yeah, that's the gas. Gravity. Show me
Jedi,
gravity acting on a gas.
Hold on,
You
Jedi.
can't,
I don't think
because gas
I don't
disperses in
think
all
you're-
directions. Thank you very much, everyone.
No,
Yeah,
Jedi,
fucking boring.
You know for a
I
fact
don't think you're.
that they're
Rage quit. That's interesting.
He knows
I don't think
for a
his
fact that we could
original
show him
question
things
was
of,
saying anything
go ahead.
about a vacuum, so that was a brilliant case of goalpost moving, I think.
Well, he moved the goalpost to gravity in the first place. First topic was space.
Yep. So let me fucking overtalk everyone, then move the goalposts and rage quit. Nice.
The gradient is enough to show space. It doesn't matter why it's there.
He did rage quit.
By the way, shouldn't we have some kind of experiments? I was actually trying to find, but I didn't find anything like gases. There are plenty of heavier gases that actually go down if we release them, but I just couldn't find anything on a small time notice. I did see
This
a
is your
video
future.
that had a very good compilation about that.
This is what your future holds, Stacy. The least little bit of resistance,
this is what
and he
your
runs away.
future holds, Curve. That was ridiculous. 3-4 people asking him a question, and then said he rage quits. Very simple.
No, him asking the same stupid question after he's been answered multiple ways.
What he was asking for was a demonstration, remember, of showing gases.
And he wasn't asking, he was demanding.
Yeah,
and he's demanding
requesting,
visual demonstration.
Requesting kind.
That little twat is not entitled to come in here and make fucking demands of us like that while he's in the process of pissing all over the furniture.
Well, again, all we're asking for is an experiment that shows the gas not filling the space as you tell us with this atmosphere.
And he got it.
And
we've got barometers that show you the air pressure decreasing the higher you go.
You need to talk with your man and get them.
That would be the observed phenomenon, right? So we would look outside. We would say, "Look, the atmosphere is getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and then doesn't go."
Just fuck yourself, Chemo, will you? You fucking twat.
Well, that's what we would do. That's how we would conduct
You're just
the
so
science.
full of fucking shit. It's unbelievable.
Right, I'm going to
You
rage
haven't
quit
burst
now.
yet.
I'm off. I'm going. I can't handle this.
See ya.
But there is a more pressing point than rage quit.
See you later,
and
Kimo.
that is
See you
the fact
later.
that we've been lied to.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah,
I've just said I want to rage quit. I feel like just calling it a day, but there's more important things than that. We have biggest lie in the world.
I think we are here in this brilliant situation. We're ready. We, the genuine flat earthers, we are ready for evidence, and we are asking for the globe earthers to have present some evidence. Can you guys present some evidence?
Proof, but you didn't even listen. You couldn't even wait for the flat Earth proof.
So we are here for the evidence. We are looking for some evidence.
You needed, but you just couldn't control yourself.
Brilliant evidence.
Well, I said JEDI was ready to give you the evidence because you asked him and he was going to go through it, but you didn't let him.
He wouldn't really give any evidence. You can kind of see the kind of person he was.
You'll never
going
know
to rage
that now,
quit.
will you? Hmm?
Okay,
Yeah,
first
because
of
he
all,
rage quit. That's
apparently
kind of
you don't
on
know
him, isn't
JEDI
it?
because JEDI doesn't rage quit. Have you ever been to 24/7? There is a rage quit.
Well, he did rage quit.
I don't think
know
he
what you're
rage
talking
quit
about.
at all, no.
No, it's about it. There's no point in getting all worked up and getting called cunts names like I've been called in the past because it is toxic. And it's not worth getting all worked up like that if people aren't going to listen and answer. And it was hard to even listen to you guys answer back because I couldn't hardly understand because there's 3 or 4 people talking at a time.
But Stacey, it is kind of like that a little. I mean, you've got to wait. You've done it, Stacey. You've got to wade through it, right?
I know. I've had to wait through it too. He's not used to it over here. Yep.
Yeah, it's not like Witsit gets through it. Nathan a little bit. Crit, he gets through it, no problem.
Do you know how those guys
issue.
get through it?
To get through you guys is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, they get through it by talking over you. So is that then your flat Earth ideal?
Goodness, the amount of questions that fly out, and
Witsit is mostly ego and fast talking.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the ideal. And then when you kind of get you're actually a spiraling person.
Rakia can get through you guys.
And can you sit the fuck down? So when you actually get some strong point on Witsit, he starts saying, "Oh, you're spiraling."
I was
That's
just
when
saying
you
that
got
some
him.
people can
You're
handle it, some
spiraling.
people cannot.
That's maybe that's the new flat Earth ideal. Let's talk over everyone. Let's interrupt.
But if they can get through
and let's
you
say
guys,
they are spiraling.
If they can get through you guys, they can get through anything. Because you guys are the toughest opponent. You're not
Yes,
going to meet
but
anyone
in what
tougher
way?
than you guys, right?
In what way are they getting through?
We're not going to meet anyone who
there is a
defends
brilliant
the globe
saying,
as much as you guys, right? Anywhere, ever. Right? So
by a philosopher called Nietzsche.
that's why I like when we get through.
When you are looking into the void, hang on. I'm actually going to look this up. It's basically saying when you're fighting monsters, take care that you don't yourself become a monster. Well, now Yokimo said that we globbers aren't monster, but I think the quote still kind of applies. So if you flat earthers want to fight us globbers, you need to take care about how you do it.
No, you're not a monster.
Yeah,
It's like fighting an idiot.
No,
fighting
you don't
a stupid
stop.
idiot. Be careful not to
Well,
become an idiot.
Agreed. When I'm fighting you, SC, I'm fighting an idiot, and I have to admit, I sometimes become an idiot fighting you.
How do you
so
fight an idiot?
so
You
that's something that I need to work on. I need to work on not being an idiot when I'm fighting you, because your idiocy is kind of toxic and it's kind of getting on me. So I become an idiot when I'm fighting you, idiot.
Sound like a clown.
Sorry, what is this?
Well, that's personal insults.
Oh my
God.
SE, do you have anything else? If you have anything else than personal insults, SE, I can give you the room. So you have now the room. You have 1 minute to make your point.
You're just a fucking idiot. I just want to make sure everybody understands that. That's all. Thank you. Have a good day, everybody else. I love you.
Thank you. See you later, SE. So this brilliantly proves my point. Flat earthers are toxic. They cannot handle a decent discourse.
No.
That wasn't decent. Again, questions. You've got to be tough skin. You know, you've
Yes,
got to be ready
exactly.
for that kind of stuff, really.
Decent, you talking about?
Go ahead, skeptical. Go on.
Jumping in and calling me an idiot isn't decent. That's exactly the point. But that's all SE can do.
You don't call flat earthers idiots.
No, you are an idiot. It's not that I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's just
so
that
again, you're doubling down on your insults.
All you
and
have,
that's your
Lori,
definition
on the
of decency.
And in VC, all you have is an insult. You are an immature punk. That's
Oh,
all you
I
have.
actually have decent
not
points,
an
SE.
insult.
You're kind of lying about me.
You are an immature punk.
Lowry, don't be a hypocrite, man. I hear you insulting all the time.
Did I anywhere say that I don't insult?
No, but you said that flat earthers are toxic because of the insults and stuff like that. But you're toxic as well because you insult quite a bit.
I can actually admit to that because I'm not a hypocrite.
Please don't be hypocritical.
Laurie thinks I'm going to act like a flat
I will actually
earther
admit to
because
that.
that's how
But
flat
see,
earthers
the problem here is SE cannot do anything else. Like I gave him the room to give me anything, but he just insulted. He cannot do anything else. I can, and I will show you that I can.
You're crazy, look.
What an insult when you make him actually provide.
Yes, I am crazy. Again, an insult by a flat earther.
No, I don't mean like. I just mean like.
Spiraling, bro.
I don't mean like you've
Give us
Yes, I'm spiraling.
Give us
Again, an
something, you
insult.
I don't have to say it's not an insult. I don't mean like crazy like.
Again, an insult.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
mean
Laurie.
like that,
Tell us.
Laurie. I
Tell
just
us
mean-
about the Big Bang. Everybody sit
And
down. Laurie,
SE is now mocking me.
You're wild.
Go ahead.
Let's see how long you guys can keep up with these insults and not making an actual point.
So
Again, percentage is making a point that I'm spiraling.
Everybody sit down. Laurie will tell us about the Big Bang.
And now
Go ahead,
SE
you
is
fucking
mocking my
monkey.
accent.
Go ahead.
That's very mature of you, SE.
Go ahead. Tell us
Can I ask
something.
a
Big
question
Bang.
here,
Go,
real quick?
Laurie. Go.
Tell us
Can
about the
I
Big
ask a
Bang
question real quick?
evolution.
V,
Just
come in
going
and do
back to
something.
the
You
original
have
topic
nothing,
about
Laurie.
gas.
You are a loser. Sit down and shut
SE,
the fuck
SE
up.
people are actually trying to have a discussion, so shut the hell down.
Good discussion.
I'm sorry that I triggered you,
Up on the
SE.
insults.
But
Let's be
other
civil.
people are actually trying to move the discussion forward, and this is childish. So SE, sit the
I will
Knock
put
it
you
off.
in your place,
SE,
Laurie, every
knock
fucking
it off.
time, clown.
Because everybody, knock it off. Quit with the bickering.
But it's
back and
Laurie
forth.
giving these long
No,
monologues.
So someone was trying to ask a question. Can we give room to that person? Because this is childish, and I know it myself.
And be concise. Don't try to provoke people with duration of your comments and all that. Just actually try to talk like adults for a minute. See if we can do it.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go back.
Big Bang evolution.
I kind of wanted to go back to the gas discussion that we were having. Why does CO2 gas go down?
It's more dense, right?
Yeah,
Density, yes.
there's more density to it, so it's going to go down, right?
If it's more dense than the medium that it's in, yes.
Right. So if you take the air away, it's still going to go down.
Again, it depends. It's relative, yes.
If you take the air away, then it's not necessarily going to go down.
Why not?
Because if you change the medium, Soroki, it can go up.
It depends on what you put in the air's place.
Yeah. What
So
you change
we're in a vacuum. We take all the air out. We're in a vacuum.
Dude,
why does the air still
There are
go
no
down?
permanent vacuums.
Listen to what's being said. Medium. So if you change it to a vacuum, what medium is that? Then you got to change the medium again to check if it is a force, right?
So
You realize that
Anybody gonna
CO2
point out
is
that
part
the
of
the
air,
air
right?
out, if we take the
itself,
medium out that we
the
were
medium
that
itself,
seems to be
the
a
medium
problem, right?
itself is a gas
And the object he's
that
talking
has
about
a
is also a
gradient.
gas.
A demonstrable, observable, measurable, verifiable, validatable, all those things you demand, gradient.
Yes.
Not doing exactly what you claim it should be doing due to being in a container.
Saroki, you're saying to take away the medium. We're not saying that. We're saying change the medium. Use a different medium. You will get different results.
Ignore
Well, the vacuum would be changing the medium to a lower pressure.
No, bro, because
You
CO2
can't
is
take
part of
everything
the
away.
medium.
There is no,
CO2
there
is
is
part
no
of the air that
absolute
you're going to be
zero.
taking out. So if you take out the air, you're taking out the CO2.
You're not. There is no absolute zero. We can agree on that, right?
Of course.
Okay, so there is still air in there, but not enough to actually make a difference.
Well, you know,
yeah, that's what we're saying. If you take out all the air, you're also taking out the CO2.
No, you introduce the CO2,
air, bro.
right? You introduce the CO2 into the vacuum. Why does it go down?
Why does what? The gas go down?
The medium. Go ahead.
In a vacuum, are you saying that you've seen this gas go down in a vacuum? What are you talking about? It's not a vacuum then, is it?
Yeah, CO2 in a vacuum.
But it's not a vacuum then, is it? And the gas
was... Oh, are you gonna say that we didn't have a vacuum before and then introduce CO2 to that vacuum?
Show me
because that was the experiment that we just described, right?
No. Show me what you're talking about.
Oh, you mean like possibly like dry ice or something like that in a vacuum?
You put dry ice in a vacuum.
Yep.
Show me. Let's have a look.
Okay, hold on. I'll see if I can find some.
Okay. Yeah, and it turns. What does it turn into? A solid. Like, so what is? What? Yeah, show me first. Let me see what happens.
Dear.
Form a gradient.
Yes. So, Jedi's number one question there was, why doesn't the gas disperse? I think we're all asking that, and you say it's because of gravity. Now, if that's true, if what you're saying is true, then we should be able to.
Which is
what we should. Yeah, if it is true, then we should be able to
do
the same in a laboratory. So that means we could take gas without the container.
No, you don't need to do it in a laboratory. You can go and do it out fucking side.
No, it's not an experiment then.
No, it is. Experiments don't have to be solely done in a laboratory. I'm sorry.
Well, then you won't have any results or any answers, right? Because you're just looking at the same observed thing. If you just look at this, if you just make an observation, you can't get any information on your observation.
You can. No, you can.
You can get little bits of information, but not enough.
You can measure the air pressure at different heights, and you will find that as you go higher, the air pressure gets lower. But you're not passing through separate containers.
Yeah,
there isn't an air pressure and a container, a lower air pressure, another container, a lower air pressure, another container. There are no containers.
Yeah, but what we've never
and yet
seen...
somehow the higher we go, the lower the air pressure gets.
But what we've never seen, though, is someone leave the gas area and go into the non-gas area.
No, we have. They're called astronauts.
No, we've never seen that.
Well, they've got a non-gas area.
Like the area of gas that we're in now.
It's virtually no gas area. If we're going to be really pedantic about it, yes. It's an extraordinarily low pressure area. But there are, to all intents and purposes, nothing out there.
So again,
there's something a little bit less extraordinarily less pressure as you go up. Like, you go up to 100,000 feet, you get to 95% without it.
I mean, there's a very good reason why airliners are pressurized. There's a very good reason why people who ascend Mount Everest take oxygen with them, because the air's so bloody thin. There's less and less air pressure the higher you go. That's why we have the Kármán line, which is above that point. The aerodynamic surfaces on aircraft don't work because there's not enough air.
We've got all this gas.
No, it's not again. Those are the facts.
No, but the atmosphere does not go off into space. That doesn't happen.
Would that not be the same for a rocket as well, though?
The reason we use rockets is because they're not reliant on an atmosphere.
Again, more
That's
nonsense.
why we use rockets. You couldn't get into space using a jet engine because there's not enough air. There's not enough air for the engine to work, and there's not enough air for the aerodynamic surfaces to work. That's why you use rockets.
What's this aeronautical thing you talk about percent in space?
What's that?
Talk about aeronautics in space or something.
Astronautics. Yeah, there's no
Astronautics.
demonstration of astronautics.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't work, right?
Astronautics.
There hasn't been a single accurate demonstration of astronautics.
What, the theory and practice of traveling beyond Earth's atmosphere? You
Yeah,
didn't. What
of
you haven't watched
propulsion
all
in
of
a
these
vacuum.
SpaceX space launches. You didn't watch the spacewalk on the ISS the other day.
That's not a demonstration of it. That's the thing we're trying to prove.
No, it is a
actually went to
demonstration. of it.
space.
That's a
It
demonstration.
actually is a demonstration
No,
of it.
because there's no
Yeah.
barometer or anything
it
like
does- you
any
don't need
empirical
that
evidence
stuff.
that it's going into 1 × 10⁻17 to
You
or
don't-
whatever
you don't need any
vacuum
of
they're
that stuff.
claiming.
Oh,
You don't need any of that stuff to show that that's
It could just be going high in the sky.
It
All
could be
you've
lots
got
of
is
things, but it
matter.
isn't. It is what they say it is. And
Beach,
it's a
you can't
demonstration.
really
Sure, let's
hear
just
you.
trust. Let's just
Super
trust.
low.
Is there a
No,
small
it's
scale
not trust.
demonstration?
It's not trust. We see
Well,
it.
That's why you get
if it's possible and if it's being done constantly, then it shouldn't be a problem to have a small scale demonstration in a vacuum chamber, right?
There have been plenty of them. You just don't accept
Yeah.
them.
There hasn't been a single small
Yes,
scale
there
demonstration akin to the vacuum of space
That's not true.
that I've ever seen in human history, and I've been looking.
No, you haven't. Well,
just
you haven't
deny
been
them
looking. then, have
arbitrarily
you?
for no good reason. You
All
have
right,
no
go
reason
ahead.
to
If you
deny
guys are
them.
claiming that there's
You
small
just-
scale demonstration
we've
akin to the
already
vacuum of space, go ahead.
You deny them for no good reason. You have an agenda.
Small scale demonstration akin to the vacuum of
We
space.
barely hear you,
You have so
man.
much
Go.
Okay, well, let me finish what I'm saying.
Can
You
anyone
have so much
else hear
confirmation
Veach?
bias
Because he's
that-
very quiet tonight.
Shut up!
Go ahead.
So you have so much confirmation bias that you can't help but deny any of the examples that we give.
Poisoning the well ad
But they
hominem.
are- But they are valid examples.
What a twat.
And if you actually took them and looked at them and paid attention to what they're actually saying, then you'd see that there are plenty of demonstrations. And
Okay, positive
moreover,
claim made.
you'd
Go
look
ahead,
at all
provide
the
one.
examples of in space. You look through telescopes and things that are orbiting. You'd look at the vast number of people that have given you eyewitness accounts.
No, I don't want
You start adding up the
circumstantial evidence. I want definitive empirical
start adding
evidence
up the
of the
evidence,
small scale demonstration of astronauts.
becomes-
You said it exists. Go ahead, provide it.
I start adding up the evidence. It becomes overwhelming, truly overwhelming.
What's it called? Astronautics.
Empirical evidence. I want definitive empirical evidence of the small scale demonstration that you said exists. Go ahead.
Astronautics. Yeah, where's this astronautics?
Astronautics.
Astronautics.
The theory and practice of travel beyond Earth's atmosphere into outer space.
Yeah, I know what it means. That's why I said the word. Now give me a demonstration that you said it exists.
Okay, 10 to the minus 2, I think, is where the Kármán line is. So we easily achieve that.
Yeah, it's about 60 miles up, isn't it? Something like that.
10 to the minus 2 is easily attained in a vacuum chamber.
All right, show us a small scale demonstration in a vacuum chamber. Show us this happening,
already
where they
shown
maintain the vacuum of 1 × 10⁻², and they have propulsion without it, propelling off of the vacuum chamber's walls or anything like that. Where
We've shown you more than
exhaust
enough so many
disperses
times.
like
It's
it
ridiculous.
would in space, where there's a huge amount of vacuum
Well,
for it to go.
What would be the mechanics of propelling off of the surface?
Don't worry about that. That's a red herring.
I got a dispersed gas coming out of
Don't worry
the
about that. That's a
nozzle.
red herring.
So are you saying that the gas that's just evacuating from the nozzle is somehow pressing on the wall and then
Don't worry
moving
about
my
that. We just
ship
want it
forward or my
how it's
output
exhausting, how it's propelling in space. Or
You've
you
already
guys
seen
claim
all
that
this.
it's going in every direction because it's surrounded by swaths of empty like space.
So you need
Show
this
us that
vacuum chamber
and
to
the vacuum
be
chamber planes where it's
you've
not
seen
where
all
it's
this.
dispersing just like it would if it was up in the sky.
right. So you need this vacuum
You've
chamber
seen
to
plenty
be
of definitive evidence.
200. How big? 200 yards across? 500 yards across? 10 miles across? How far away from the wall to the wall?
I mean,
is
you said that the demonstration exists, so just present it.
no,
and
I
then
asked you what-
ideally, it would be as big of a vacuum chamber as
I
possible with a small
want this done in a
rocket.
36-gallon vacuum chamber.
Again, ideally, it would be as big a rocket and a smaller rocket and as big a vacuum chamber as possible.
This was a C-size motor
Like a super mini
inside
rocket
of
in the vacuum
36
chamber that
gallon vacuum
that they use for the ball versus bowling ball versus feather thing. That would be nice.
Well, wouldn't
okay. So you need somebody to bottle rocket off in the vacuum chamber. Okay, I see. I don't think I have an example of that.
Yeah, no.
You have finally come up with enough details.
I've been looking there. There's no demonstration for it.
Right. You've come up with enough restrictions that you finally made the test impossible, or not.
No, it's quite possible. You have that vacuum chamber. You have a super mini rocket just very suspended from the top of the vacuum chamber. So you have all that room below for the stuff to exhaust. You maintain the vacuum.
Because he's obnoxious.
Says the person that was just talking over me with an ad hoc.
You were talking over me, %. You've been talking all morning.
I was responding to the person that was actually conversating with.
You were talking over me in order to do that response.
All right, okay.
So badly.
All right, there's one other example that we can see. I don't know if you want to call it space, but there's an example of an object that moves from point A to point B. The docking of the ISS with the space shuttle and the docking with Soyuz can be seen from the ground. We see things propulsively moving, I assume propulsively moving towards each other.
What we're referring to, a small-scale demonstration of astronautics.
Well, what about
Night Sky Jeff posted a few videos. Hold up, Night Sky Jeff posted a few videos. Every single one of those is not a small-scale demonstration of astronautics akin to space. Not a single one.
What about a large-scale ISS and
that's circular logic. What we're trying to prove is ISS and Soyuz and all that stuff.
No,
so you
I'm
can't point
sure
to
you,
evidence.
those are
Circular
things
logic.
we know
That's
exist.
why we want a
No
small-scale
proving.
demonstration.
You don't have to prove those. Those are objectively real. We see that.
Yeah, something's happening, but you're claiming that's out in outer space at 1 × 10 to -17 or what have you, and that's what's in contention. So you can't point to it as proof because that's circular logic. You can't.
But we
point
know
to
it's
the thing
less
that
than
we're
one
proving
tour
as proof.
because,
You understand that, right?
We know it's less than one tour because we saw
All they
Mage
have to
go
do
up,
is believe,
and the
bro.
Mage balloon went
Believe
up.
hard.
Listen, bro, if this happened, 20,000 shuttles or satellites are out there and
Believe you
launches
fucking
and all this
dickhead.
bullshit, then it should be very easy for just one demonstration of this on Earth, right?
We just have to show one of them moving, don't we?
The smallest rocket you could fucking work. You could
Right, we just have to show one of them changing
direction.
direction. Right?
I don't care if the capsule is atmospherized, so you could, get it ignited initially.
Right, but so we just have to show one moving, right? One changing direction in space.
Yeah, after if the capsule is atmospherized, obviously you have to allow for that. But what we want to see is it like exhausting. It's it's actually propelling. It's lit and all this exhaust is coming out and it's moving. And this exhaust is not trapped by the vacuum chamber. It's not hitting anywhere. It's dispersing.
No vacuum chamber. I'm talking about the ISS space shuttle
in space.
So in space shuttle, moving from point A to point B, then changing directions and going from point B to point A is not movement of something in a
we're trying
low
to prove this. You can't point to the thing we're trying to prove as proof.
You can when it's a demonstration of the thing.
Not if it's not like suspended in this vacuum chamber and the vacuum isn't being maintained and stuff. Again, I've made the criteria very clear. You want to maintain the vacuum.
Your criteria is absurd. Your criteria isn't a valid set of criteria.
It's very much valid.
It's designed to be so restrictive as to prevent it from being possible.
No, not at all.
The truth is, in order to demonstrate something is true, you simply have to demonstrate it, and it has been demonstrated.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
Astronautics akin to the vacuum. Astronautics in and of itself has never been demonstrated.
It has been demonstrated.
It has not been demonstrated small scale at all.
You know that you must be using the wrong criteria because
you're lying right now to say that it's demonstrated. What has been demonstrated is like propulsion hitting the vacuum chamber in a small vacuum, not akin to the vacuum of space, which is not astronautics.
Do you think maybe you could let me finish the sentence before you start interrupting again?
Well, stop lying then.
Well, no, I'm not going to stop lying.
Well, please do, because that's not.
No, why don't you stop lying about me lying? That would be helpful.
You said you're not going to stop lying.
How about you listen? I'm not going to stop lying because I didn't start it. How can I stop something I didn't start?
Yeah, it says there.
Yeah. See? So the point is that it's been demonstrated, and one of the ways you know that your criteria is too restrictive, and this is a very good way to know, is you can look around and you can see how many people are satisfied with these demonstrations versus how many people aren't. Now, this is the majority. This is a case in which the appeal to majority is valid.
No, it's not.
Because it tells you something. Yes, it is. It tells you something's wrong with your criteria.
It's not. There's nothing wrong with my criteria.
Look, can you just let me finish for a second? Like, your interruptions, I get that you're...
I'm real quick with it.
I get that
I'm just nipping them in the bud. Because.
However, stop it. Just stop it and let him finish.
And
annoying.
I get that it makes you nervous, but you just need to listen to what is said, and then you can actually respond to the content instead of just interrupting all the time. So the point is that and this is the case in which appeal to the majority makes sense. Because what you're trying to figure out is, do you have a reasonable set of criteria? And what better way to define reasonable than what is the most people going to say is reasonable? That's kind of
Veach, I can barely hear you, bro.
Neither can I. Veach. So low.
Yeah.
I can't even concentrate on what he's saying because I can't even hear him.
Well, you're a little bit low, Scott, but I can hear you okay.
Yeah, I heard you fine.
I hear him fine, and I'm in an vacuous area.
Oh yeah.
You really are, aren't you?
Yeah. Come on, shout echo.
Well, carry on, Veach. Carry on. But just as long as percent can hear you, that's the main thing.
It's fine. I'm going to work on getting my volume back up.
You'd probably hear a lot better if you kept his mouth shut.
Apple is a fucking orange. That doesn't mean that you're comparing, when you take an apple and you compare it to an orange, that you're comparing oranges to oranges. No, they could all be wrong. The point is you have to be logical about it. So when they say astronautics, they're saying basically that the exhaust is dispersing in every direction. It's uninhibited, right? And the vacuum is being maintained at 1 × 10 to the negative whatever. And that has to hold true regardless. It's not going to be the exhaust isn't going to be hitting some nearby asteroid or something like that to the point where it'll affect anything. It won't be causing the vicinity right there to be a vacuum of change the vacuum from negative 13 or something to negative 5. You have to maintain the vacuum, and the exhaust has to disperse in every direction.
It seems like rockets become more efficient as you go up. So, like if I launch a model rocket from the top of Mount, I don't know, Rainier, and I launch it up there at 14,000 feet, or Mount Washington, 14,000 feet, that thing takes off. It'll go higher relative to the ground at the launching point than it will if I launch it at 14 psi at sea level. So one would think that it gets more and more efficient as I go into less and less atmosphere. So I would think in these low pressure chambers, all you'd have to do is prove that the rocket has thrust and that the thrust doesn't improve as time goes on.
Yeah, you would think you would you could propose that, but we haven't had a demonstration. So maybe
we have the example of Estes rocket with Cody's lab, where he launches it on a spinning platform. He puts it on the arm of a lazy Susan, essentially.
Yeah, I've seen that video.
When that thing takes off, it spins at goes from 0 to 5,000 RPMs or close to that instantly. That means it had a hell of a lot of thrust in that vacuum.
But it doesn't maintain the vacuum, does it? It's in a barrel or something like that. It doesn't maintain the vacuum. The barrel's so small, the exhaust is building up and it's hitting the wall of the container. It's not akin to space, if you're being honest. Now, is it?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'll say that it probably increased the pressure in there by 10%. I don't know, a little bit.
And what we're looking for is a demonstration of
If
astronautics.
it's pushing off of the other atmosphere in there, it didn't have a whole lot of atmosphere to push off, no matter how you slice it. Yet it had to move that armature, all that mass of that arm, the rocket, had to move all of that shit in less than a second. Had to get it up to 5,000 RPMs. And that's pretty impressive. A lot of thrust there.
Oh, it's definitely an impressive video, but it's not a demonstration of astronautics, which is what we're contesting and looking for.
So are you thinking a giant vacuum then, and then just something flying around in that? I would like to see that, Mike. Let's get that on the table.
Yeah, just like that BBC vacuum, the bowling ball and feather one. You could have a super mini rocket just suspended off a like a meter long string off the top of that.
You know that Newton's third law works. You don't need what you're asking for.
Yes,
maybe
we do.
Maybe Newton's third law only works in atmosphere.
That's what we're saying. Atmosphere.
Maybe
why hasn't that been done, Mike? That should have been done ages ago.
Well, that would mean that I would think that would mean that varying the atmosphere would amount the greater the pressure
on that.
The greater the pressure that I have would make rockets work more efficiently. They'd have more thrust as I increase pressure.
Who knows, man?
Yeah, with a medium.
knows?
Yeah, with more resistance from a medium. Yes.
Yeah, like traction,
Yeah,
counter traction.
So then I could prove that then by instead of using a vacuum, I could just make a pressure vessel. That's easier than pulling a big vacuum.
We're talking about
And
no
I could try
resistance.
and launch a rocket, and I could show that the rocket has less thrust as I increase the pressure.
That would be good too, if as long as like the wall of the container isn't getting in the way, and it's dispersing in every direction. You know, even if it's not the optimal amount of vacuum, it would still be some like good evidence towards that end. But even that hasn't been done.
This is a strong point, guys. Because we need to see a large vacuum flying around in it.
I could
They
probably
got
set that
miniature
up.
rockets you can make out of tinfoil.
I can reasonably set up a PVC tube and a load sensor with, let's say, 120 psi in it. I can show that that rocket is demonstrably less thrust.
That will prove my
And
claim
it'll
about.
It'll get worse.
It'll prove my claim about rockets need atmosphere. It won't work in a vacuum chamber of our own.
I was talking about the opposite way. I was going with higher pressure, showing that higher pressure affects rockets still.
No, we just need to see no resistance and how stuff goes through no resistance. Real easy, like your rocket.
Can somebody explain to me how the atmosphere affects the rocket?
Ditchwink, think about it. If you put this in
Yeah,
a
explain
giant
it to me.
vacuum,
How did it work?
Ditchwink, if you put this in a giant
Timo.
vacuum. I'm asking you a question. If we get a giant vacuum,
do a question.
I don't know. I'm asking you. You're the
My
rocket.
question is,
What?
you have the rocket in the atmosphere.
No, in the vacuum chamber.
Exhaust gases came out of the nozzle. How did the gases affect the come out of the nozzle affect the rocket?
Because if you put this in a vacuum chamber, it's not going to work.
Yeah, how you get the force back, Kimo? How you can there was something to be the gases come out. They are only hit the atmosphere. How the force gets back to the rocket?
Literally, we're talking about a vacuum chamber.
It don't matter.
Does it work in a vacuum chamber?
It works everywhere.
Well, let's see. That's
The
what,
problem.
that's what we're
Your
asking
problem is, Kimo. Your problem is. It is like I make this example several times here. You have a stone in your hand and you throw the stone. In the time you accelerate the stone, you feel the pressure in your hand. Then the stone is gone and you feel nothing more from the stone. If the stone hits something or falls to the ground, make no difference. You never feel the force in your hand again from the stone. The same principle is by the rocket.
Okay, so just tell me why it wouldn't work in the vacuum chamber, a large vacuum chamber.
It don't matter where you throw the stone. In the moment the throw stone that is out of your hand, you don't feel the stone anymore.
Even if it hit Kimo in the face.
Even if you hit something outside in the room, you will not feel the force in your hand again.
Well, I'm not asking any of that though. You're probably right, yeah. But I'm asking about.
But that is the answer. That is not what you what you said. You say your opinion is that the gases came out of the rocket motor, a rocket engine, hit something, and there's a force back to the rocket that pushed the rocket. That is what you claim.
I don't personally agree with the flat earthers on this, but they are right that, we should have a demonstration of this. If you can do it, let's see it.
What's not right,
I've got a solution to
Then
this whole rockets push off problem.
Jeremy, what's not right? What are you saying?
I mean, this theoretically, with the vacuums working in space, theoretically it should work.
So you think it would fly straight and go straight? You don't think it would just spin in a circle and stop eventually? Just like right in space, like right in a spot? Like if it has resistance to do something and move, and you say, okay, this thing's moving because something's pushing off the wall of its container, then it would just like go down or up or something. It wouldn't go forward, like it would just like it would go like in a spiral. It would just spin in the same area. If it was possible.
I don't know. You could definitely theoretically get movement out of the rocket, whether it could go straight or
theoretically, if the third law is true, even without a medium,
we need to see it.
It should work.
Right. We need to stop theoreticalizing and see this shit.
Yeah.
Well, I put the rocket in the shed. In the
yeah,
life.
put a little rocket in a big ass vacuum chamber.
Yeah,
Do you know
I
what a little
put the
rocket
rocket
is?
in the live stream.
Do you know what a little rocket is? No, not a cartoon, retard.
Yeah, it don't matter. It shows
Not a cartoon,
very perfect what I'm talking
bastard,
about.
a real material
No,
rocket.
that's what I'm talking about.
Well, we don't want to watch your Jetson cartoons.
I started the rocket.
YouTube SpaceX.
And
You see plenty.
the rocket is moving. I take the
Your
rocket away.
cartoon rocket?
Yeah, it's moving.
Yeah, we'll get a real one.
It works by repulsion.
Yeah, get a real one and let's watch it.
So,
you got any more real ones other than cartoons?
If a real one, you don't understand the real one. Maybe you understand
rocket,
the
a bottle
cartoon.
rocket in the big vacuum.
It's fine. We understand the theory that you guys,
Yeah.
espouse.
If I put a
Yeah, we get that. Now we need the presentation to back it.
I've got a solution to
understand
the
how-
off-air problem.
You
How
don't
come a
understand the repulsion of the rocket. That is
You
the
don't
problem.
understand what presentation means.
It has nothing to do with theory.
You
It
don't
works.
understand demonstration,
I
presentation.
don't understand why we're required to produce a scale model of something that we can just look up.
Because you can willy-nilly
Circular
just say
logic.
whatever the fuck you want.
Hang on.
That's why.
hang on. If you'd listened for long enough, Dan, you would have heard the last words that I said, which were with something that we can just look up and see.
Circular logic.
Yeah,
We're trying
liar.
to
That's a
prove
good
that.
lie. Liar. Is that a vacuum chamber that we see something working in? Fuck no, that's your word. That's you saying,
it's
hey, look,
vacuum.
you guys see dog shit in the air floating. We're going to take your word for it? Fuck off.
No, it's
You
not.
guys claim it's in space, in outer
you
space,
can
one
look
times 10
up-
to the negative
you
whatever.
I don't believe a
Trying to
fucking
substantiate-
word you say, Jim.
substantiate.
Shut up.
All right, you can look up and you can see a rocket working in a vacuum.
We don't know it's in a vacuum, Jam.
There's no need for us to demonstrate this at scale. It can be seen. Why would we bother doing that? Saying we don't know it's a vacuum is not true. We do know it's a vacuum. You can pretend that you don't know, but we do know. You have no reason to believe it's anything other than a vacuum, and lots of reasons to believe it's a vacuum.
Believe that it's not actually true.
I mean, all we're saying, Jim, I mean, you do this ball and feather. There's no need to do
So-
ball and... Hold on, can I
For-
make my point to Jem here? So there's no need to do ball and feather in the vacuum, but for science, they did it for
But
us.
that demonstrates a principle of gravity, doesn't it? It demonstrates.
and this would demonstrate the principle of the third law of thermodynamics.
It demonstrates that it removes air resistance from the dropping, so that you can get a really nice, accurate result of things dropping. And
my point is,
the reason they did that. Go ahead.
I'm just saying
the
they didn't
reason
have
they
to
did
do
that
that.
was because they were talking about Galileo and how he came to know what he came to know, and how we have knowledge of gravity now. But we can have knowledge of rockets working in a vacuum by looking at a rocket working in a vacuum. And I think that of course you're going to demand some demonstration. And there's been a number of them over the years, but none of them quite qualify for some reason. The tube's too small, or it was myth. But it was
clearly know
I'm
the
still
reasons.
talking knobhead. It was Mythbusters that did it, and they're in Hollywood, so we can reject them, or various ones. And so the evidence is already there. The evidence that you're demanding isn't required anyway, in my opinion. And so I think you're being obviously unreasonable.
And the flat earthers has to show to us if it makes a change, a difference between a rocket with nothing behind or something behind. You have to show that if there is a difference.
Yeah, but let me just respond quickly to that. Look, Jem.
Yeah, you have to show us.
I will respond.
Please, you have to show us. Is there a difference?
Dude, let him respond to what I said, please.
Yeah, I'm
You
just
can
saying
do it with an air balloon or something.
We've got to ask. We wouldn't be very good investigators if we didn't ask the question. No, at least try to find out if there is such an experiment, right?
You don't.
And you reject all of the ones that currently exist because the chamber isn't big enough. And then you say, well, it's not a vacuum because the rocket gases are in it.
Yeah,
And
I mean, again,
you will say that about all vacuum chambers.
we're just doing our job. Do our job.
That's no fun.
Gotta do, we've got
There's
to
a
ask.
solution to that, you know. There is a solution.
Go
Don't
on.
use a rocket. Don't use a rocket in the vacuum chamber.
No. We want to see again. We've got to ask. I mean, we wouldn't be very good flat earthers. Think about it. If we didn't ask these questions, right?
I got a question for percent. Oh, he's muted now. Great.
Oh, I'll unmute him.
Was he muted?
No,
I
he's
didn't
muted
see.
himself.
He's deafened.
He's deafened.
He's
yeah.
muted.
deafened.
Deafened.
What is that?
We don't need a rocket to test Newton's law here. We just need something that expels mass. It doesn't have to be a rocket. It could be a small little catapult with a marble. And it's the exact same thing. Of course, you're going to reject that, even though it's the first time you even thought of it. Typical. Goodbye.
Again, look, we just want to see these things, what we're told, because we can't actually, none of us
do it.
Is what? Another reason. I'll tell you.
Well, then you need to test. It's your objection. You test it.
Let me tell you. Let me explain now. Think about
That's a good point.
Think about
it's your objection. You have to test it, not us.
I've got a good idea. Check this out. Now, listen to what. If they built a super giant, massive, tremendous vacuum, so for the people that can't go to space, can't afford space, they could experience space in, like they have a theme park vacuum. Why don't they have such things like that?
Because it's your job.
Well, you wouldn't be experiencing space. You would just be experiencing a vacuum.
Chemo, it's your job to. Excuse me, Chemo. It's your job to prove their claim. Don't you know that?
No one said that.
No, but wouldn't that be a good idea, Jeremy?
You're saying rockets work in a vacuum. Now you told Chemo to go prove it.
No, this argument always begins with they don't work in a vacuum. That's the claim, and you know it.
It's the claim of non-existence. So you're claiming
claim.
Existence. You're claiming existence.
All I'm saying
the
is
burden of proof.
we need to ignore you flat earthers until you understand you're the ones fucking up, and you have something to prove
The
here.
one who's claiming existence, the burden of proof is on you. I know you don't know how burden of
Jeremy,
proof.
I added a video.
It's a claim.
Jeremy, I added a video of a rocket
added to it.
Burden of proof is on the ones claiming existence.
Parrot your little eye there. Fucktard.
Hang on, may I say something very? Hang on, may I say something very important? When you say that rockets don't work in a vacuum, that's not a claim of non-existence. That's
we're
a claim
saying
of
that don't.
functionality.
We're saying it doesn't exist. Rockets in a vacuum
or a claim of lacking functionality.
You're not
Rockets
saying
working in a
that.
vacuum doesn't exist.
That's not true. You're saying a specific piece of Listen, you're saying a specific piece of engineering doesn't work in the way it's claimed to work. You're not saying that things don't exist, because clearly they do exist. Which rocket is it that doesn't exist then?
We're saying that rockets.
Tell me a rocket,
work.
a rocket that is really claimed to exist that doesn't actually exist.
We're not saying that rockets don't exist. We're saying that rockets don't work in a
right.
vacuum. You're saying
not
they
saying
do.
That rockets
So
don't
You're
exist.
saying they do. So therefore, the burden of proof.
I got a really.
Let me just finish my thought real quick.
But it's wrong. We've heard it before.
You're saying that rockets working in a. I didn't even finish my sentence. I said we're saying you're saying rockets. And
You've heard it before. There's no such thing as I'm claiming something doesn't exist, therefore there's no burden of proof. That's bullshit.
That's not BS. That's how burden of proof works. The one
no,
claiming
it's not,
existence,
you little twat.
The one
no,
claiming existence.
Stop being stupid.
The one claiming
it's
existence.
Over. Stop being stupid.
This isn't a claim about existence.
Can I finish? Can I just finish without getting interrupted real quick?
Yeah.
Right.
Let him get it. Let him get it
All
out
right.
to him, and then you respond.
Now I can bring up a citation if you want.
Oh, bring up anything you want, you fucktard. Come on, you lying little shit. No, he needs to be
Termin, let him speak and then respond, please.
Okay, I can bring up a citation if you need, but this is common knowledge. I mean, I don't know why I would even need a citation for this, but anyone claiming non-existence and anyone claiming existence of something, the burden of proof is on the ones claiming existence.
It's common knowledge.
It's a fact.
Right.
That's not an option or an opinion. That's a fact.
Okay. Thank you for that irrelevant fact. This is not the conversation or an argument about the existence of something. So thank you for that.
Okay, well,
however,
let me
it's
explain how
irrelevant.
it is.
And hold
Let me
on.
explain-
Hold
can I
on.
explain how it's relevant?
No, I'm still speaking. And as
All right, let me
Terminus
know.
pointed out, this begins with the claim that rockets don't work in a vacuum. It's right. You do need to establish that this claim is true, and you haven't.
Okay, now you guys are claiming rockets working in a vacuum. You're claiming that exists, right?
Well, here's the question
Hold
for
on, Gem. That was the Gem.
No.
Are you claiming that rockets working in a vacuum exists?
No, look, you can't
No,
just,
you're not.
You can't just, no, I'm not. You can't just throw the word exist on the end of the sentence and go, aha, it's a conversation about existence. It is absolutely not a conversation about the existence of something. It's about engineering and how that engineering works in reality. And you are making a specific claim about that engineering, as are we. Our claim is supported by evidence. Yours is not.
Claim is that it doesn't exist. Your claim is that it does exist. This is simple.
Jeremy, you're doing mental gymnastics to try to get at the word existence in it, in some, and that's a silly game to play. I can do it as well. I can say that rockets not working in space doesn't exist. So it's your claim of existence that rockets not working in space exists, and I'm saying that doesn't exist. So it's on you to prove it. We can do this all day long.
We can prove that. We can take a vacuum
on every question.
And also, you aren't making the claim that rockets don't exist. You make the claim that, oh, they fly back into the sea, or they're actually something else.
Yeah.
So you aren't making a claim about existence.
Who's saying we know rockets exist, but we're saying that they go up?
Right. Well, Jeremy's saying that this argument about how they work is actually about whether they exist or not, and that's not true. And he's doing that.
No, you're
doing that.
He's
doing that. That's exactly what you're doing, Jeremy.
I'm telling you, rockets. Hold on, Jen. Let's just so we're clear.
He's starting to spiral now.
You guys are saying rockets working. You guys are saying rockets working in a vacuum is a thing that exists, correct? Or am I straw manning you? No, you're not saying that.
Straw manning me. That is incorrect. Again.
So
the second
you're saying rockets in a vacuum, rockets working in a vacuum don't exist. That's what you're claiming.
No, that is incorrect for the second time.
Well, there's only two options here. Do rockets work in a vacuum? No, there isn't. Jen, do rockets work in a vacuum?
Okay, let's go back to my question that I asked before.
What about my question?
Give me an example.
Work in a vacuum, Jem?
Give me an example of a rocket that you claim does not exist.
Jem, do rockets work?
When I asked you this before, you said, "I'm not saying rockets don't exist."
Right.
There you go. So it's not an argument. If you're not saying rockets don't exist, and I'm not saying rockets don't exist, this is not an argument about the existence of rockets, is it?
This is an argument of rockets working in a vacuum. Now you're saying that
right? Exactly. That's it. Stop there. Stop there. Stop. Don't. No need for the. You're saying that exists. This is an argument about rockets working in a vacuum. Period.
Yeah, you're saying it exists. We're saying it doesn't.
No.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening right here.
No. This is a rocket.
Yes.
Listen. This is an argument about rockets working in a vacuum.
Yes, you're saying it exists.
Listen, stop.
We're saying it doesn't.
Stop. Your response in agreement to me is yes. This is an argument about rockets working in a vacuum. Okay. You do not listen. Stop. Shut up. You hold on. You are not required to add the word existence here. We can understand each other. We can have a coherent understanding. Everyone can have a coherent understanding of what the argument is about. It is not about existence. We have both agreed that. Thank you. Go ahead.
We don't both agree that. My argument is that rockets working in a vacuum is something that does not exist. Now, do you think it does exist?
I'm not going to go around this circle again.
Because the burden of proof's on you, Jem, and you know...
You're just being ridiculously dishonest. Every claim has a burden of proof attached to it. You've made a claim. This starts with your claim. Our claim is supported by mountains of fucking evidence that anyone can just go and see a rocket working in a fucking vacuum. So don't give me that bullshit. This is just a dishonest, quantum eraser-based, shitty little attempt to avoid having to assume the burden of proof for
Absolutely
anything.
not. The burden of
Not
proof
a
is on
person.
anyone.
Listen, I'm still talking. Not a person who has any interest in what's true, just in what they can get off with on a technicality. Pathetic.
If anyone claims existence of something, the burden of proof's on them. If they're arguing with somebody that claims non-existence.
Jeremy, you're not fully.
So all arguments then are about existence. Every single argument that we have can be said to be about existence, can't it?
Exactly.
Here's the dishonesty. Anytime any glober has pointed out flat Earth can't work for whatever reason, you demand proof of that.
Give me any argument that exists in this debate, any argument that we can't just tag the word existence on the end of and say, aha, it's an argument about existence. This is dishonest, Jeremy.
Let's do Black Swan.
I say, guys,
You guys are saying the working of the Black Swan argument exists, and we are saying it doesn't exist. So the burden of proof for the Black Swan argument working, the existence of that is on you guys. Go ahead, Jeremy. Make your claim.
Way to red herring it. We're talking about rockets in the vacuum.
Exactly. It's a red herring. It's a silly argument.
No, what you said is a red herring.
It's a dishonest tactic to just use the word existence and put it at the word of every single question.
Right.
Okay,
to
Jem,
reverse the burden of
Jem, if I claim Santa Claus exists and you say no, it doesn't exist.
No, this is not.
Is the burden of proof on you? Can I get this analogy out or no?
Yes.
No.
Yes,
because don't let me get it out because.
Yes, because
No.
All right, I know, guys.
Yes, because that would be an argument about existence.
Yes, this is
not an argument about existence.
Rockets working in a vacuum don't exist.
Jeremy, what if we have a vacuum and we show you that the rocket works in a vacuum, which we've shown? You may say, oh, well, it's got some exhaust gases, so it's not a pure vacuum. But what if we keep on measuring the vacuum level and plotting that against the thrust level, and it actually goes up as the pressure goes up? Then you'd be right. But if it doesn't, then you'd be wrong. Would you agree?
Okay, here it is. This is the last
You're not
time
going to
I'm
answer
saying
it.
it. This is the last.
You're
No,
not
I'm
gonna
not
answer
going
it.
to
I'm going to say the same
I'm in the middle
stupid
of
shit
something
again,
with
the same dishonest crap again.
I give you a simple question.
If I say,
if I say
rock,
maybe you can answer it.
Jeremy, give me any argument, Jeremy, that we can't just tag the word existence on.
Irrelevant. I don't. Earth curve. Right? We say
If
Earth
we
curve
keep
doesn't
on
exist. You say it
increasing
does.
the
It's on you to
pressure.
prove it. We
Yeah,
say Earth
Jeremy.
curve doesn't exist.
Jeremy,
you say it
I know-
does. It's on you to prove it.
So you say by implication, you're saying flatness exists. You say that.
I'm telling you, curve
the Earth is observably flat.
curve.
All my experiences of it are flat.
Have a
So
good night.
you're assuming the existence of a flat Earth. The problem is, Jeremy, with
Real
this
quick, let me
idea.
just-
No. The problem is that I'm trying to get across to you here is there is no argument that we can't then say is about existence. All arguments will be about the existence of some proposition being correct or some proposition being incorrect. So this is dishonest, crappy little tactic.
All right. This isn't dishonest. This is an argument
Yes,
about
it is.
something existing.
It's
This is an argument about.
No, guys.
This is an argument about. Can I respond to Jem, please?
No.
Let him respond. I'm definitely not going to respond again. I just think I'll just say again, for you to use this and keep arguing this
Jem.
now is profoundly dishonest, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm person A. I say Santa Claus doesn't exist and rockets working in a vacuum doesn't exist. Is it on me to prove any of those things?
Except that is not what you say. Nobody in this community has ever said rockets working in a vacuum doesn't exist. People say people say rockets don't work in a vacuum.
Okay, well, I like to phrase it properly.
So that would be an argument then. That would be an argument then about whether rockets do or do not work in a vacuum. Nobody is denying the existence of rockets.
We are denying the existence of rockets. We are denying the existence of rockets working in space in a vacuum.
Okay, so let me get this out real fast. I've been trying to for a while. Just something you need to know, Jeremy. I know what article you're pulling that from. article is talking about first-order existence of things where no evidence has been supplied either for or against, and none has ever been accrued. Until it meets the burden of proof, the negative doesn't have a burden. The problem is, rockets working has a profound evidence base. This isn't you sitting here saying, hey, this is a fresh proposition. There's no evidence for either side. I'm choosing the negative, therefore I have no burden. That's wrong. Stop that. You're using the article incorrectly.
The burden's on you because I'm claiming non-existence.
No, you didn't listen to it.
That's how non-existence.
Yeah, you're going against a plethora of information, right? You would be like saying, it would be like saying, there's no women, there's no actual women. They're all men in drag. It's up to you to prove that I'm wrong.
So how one would propose?
Well, that would be easy.
That's literally the same argument.
Let's try this.
I don't know how one would propose that I can eject 20 tons of something at 5,000 miles per hour from something and not have a reaction.
I think a better example, what I was trying to get at, which is kind of where Zanuck was going with this, is you would expect that the performance would fall off with the loss of atmosphere, right? The propulsion
I don't
would,
even like this argument, but
would you not expect? Hold on, Jeremy. Would you not expect that the propulsion would steeply fall off as the atmosphere dwindles away with altitude, which we know it does, right? You don't argue that at 120,000 feet, there's only like less than 0.1 psi of air pressure left, right? You don't argue.
I don't know the logistics.
Well, you know that at the top of Mount Everest.
Respond or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rambling on. All right, now I'm not even saying they don't exist, but the burden of proof is definitely, unquestionably on you guys. Because you're saying this does exist.
Okay.
This thing does exist.
Jeremy.
Burden of proof's on you. That's a no-brainer.
Got it, Jeremy. So someone posted the proof here of a rocket in a vacuum. What's your objection to it?
I don't even care. I think they could work.
No,
I don't even care about the proof. The burden of proof is on you guys.
The proof.
I don't want
the proof. The proof was provided. It was provided.
I don't even want the proof. I'm telling you the burden of proof.
What do you want?
What you think,
you don't want the proof.
Regardless of what you guys think, the burden of proof is on you. Not
it's on us. So
what you're saying right now. Hold on.
I
what
accept
you're saying
it.
right now, Jeremy.
I accept
what
it.
You're saying right now, Jeremy.
No, what I'm saying is I'm responding to the guy that said it's up to Chemo to prove it. It's not. It's on you guys.
Okay. No, it's not up to Chemo. So someone provided the proof. Someone provided the proof.
Great.
For this and the story, right?
There it is, Chemo. Go ahead. Look at the evidence they gave you.
Flat Earth doesn't exist.
No, you were targeting it somehow. I don't know.
Very simple. Flat Earth doesn't exist.
Now, what's the argument against this evidence?
It only exists. It only exists everywhere you look. Other than that, you don't think it exists.
The horizon is not perfectly flat.
No, the
horizon. Jeremy said, "Burden of proof is on you, but I don't want the proof."
I don't because I don't.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to go
back to. This isn't my argument.
But you were making an argument about the burden of proof being on us.
Yes, I was standing up for Chemo because somebody said it's on him to prove it. Which is ridiculous.
Then afterwards, what you said was you thought that rockets would work in a vacuum.
Yeah, I do think rockets would work in a vacuum. Yes.
Okay. So do you think space is real?
You guys claim.
What?
Not as you guys. It's unverifiable.
What do you mean it's unverifiable?
Let me know when you're ready to go verify it. I'll pack my bags and we'll go do it.
It's personally unverifiable.
I mean, that's up to you. You could actually buy a place on SpaceX right now.
Just let me know when you're ready. We'll go together.
I didn't say I was going. I have no plans to go.
Well, if anyone's ready to go verify,
but you're more than welcome to go verify it for yourself.
Sure. If anyone's ready to go, let me know, and I'll pack my bags and come along with you.
Well, we can play this whole game.
Why does anybody have to do it with you?
Play this game with you, Jeremy.
He couldn't afford it.
The flat Earth does not exist. Water is not flat anywhere. I can play all these things. There you go. Prove to me now that water is flat over a mile.
Why over a mile?
I flat
Because you're
water is
claiming
not-
it's because you're
water is
claiming
not
it's curving.
long
You said over a mile because you're claiming it's
Water is
curving
not
over a
flat
mile.
over long distance.
Claim you're making. You want me to prove your claim again?
Water is not flat over long distances.
Delusional, man. You guys are straight delusional, thinking we got to prove your claims. We don't have to prove your claims.
Actually, no, that would be. He was saying that he wants to see that the Earth is flat over a mile. Can you provide that evidence?
It's not flat over distance.
Yeah. Why would you think it wasn't flat? Do you have any evidence of it
Why not?
curving? No.
Because I
Why
see
not?
ships
If you
go
don't,
to the right.
if you don't have any evidence either way, I mean, we can question it at that point, right? Because nobody has determined which one is a fallacious argument. So we can question whether it's a globe or flat. So we're asking, do you have any measurements over a mile for a flat?
Why
plane?
over a mile? Why would it start curving over a mile?
Why not 3 miles? How about 4?
It curves 8 inches over a mile? You want me to prove your claim
Does it?
once again? You want me to prove
Does
your
it?
claim once again?
I don't know. I didn't make a claim. You
Listen,
said it was flat.
Water's flat.
Negative.
You go take
So
a
you
six.
say
Go
you
take
say
a
it's
6
flat.
foot.
You said water is flat.
Okay,
so
go
I'm
take a
asking
6 foot
you
spirit
for the
level.
evidence
Prove it's flat.
for you to show
Okay,
me
go
that
take
it's
it.
flat
Am I
over
ever
a
going to
mile.
get a chance to respond, or no? Is this
Yeah,
going to be you
prove
guys
it's
circle
flat.
jerking each other?
Prove it's
Let him
flat. You just
respond.
said water's flat. Now you get to prove it's flat.
Right.
Okay, go take a spirit. All right.
No. I want you to show us the evidence. I don't want a hypothetical experiment that you're never going to do because you're lazy as fuck.
Well, that's just an ad hom. I'm not lazy.
No,
Now,
I didn't
go
say
take
that
a
your
spirit
argument's
level.
wrong because you're lazy as fuck. I'm just saying I don't want to hear a hypothetical that I know that you're never going to do. So give us a real world experiment
Real world.
where it's
Okay.
showing that water is
All right,
flat.
shut up.
And
Time for
go.
real world stuff. Go take a spirit level, put it on top of some water.
That's hypothetical.
and
I want to see
you'll
the
find
work.
out that. Are you ever going to shut up or no?
That's hypothetical. Go do this thing. No. I want to see you back up your claim that water is flat with an experiment that you did. Now go. Since you have to touch your grubby little toddler hands on everything to see for yourself if it's real or not, then let's see what you have done to prove that water is flat. I want to see the Jeremy proof, not the hypothetical he's never going to do it proof.
Can't tell you if you never stop talking.
Go.
Okay, I've done this. You can go take a spirit level, put it on some water. You'll see that it's flat. Now, if you're saying it's curving over a longer distance, that's on you to prove. I don't know why you think that's funny. That's on you to prove. You're the one saying it's curving.
Sorry, I already called non-existence. Therefore, you have to now prove it.
Non-existence of what?
The water is flat. I say it's not flat.
Yeah, well, I got it flat over a distance of 6 feet. What do you got it? When do you have it curving?
So Jeremy,
do you have it curving?
you told me that the water was flat, right?
No
so
one's going to answer my question. At what distance
Hold
do you
on,
have
hold
the
on.
water?
We're going through this.
This isn't
for a
an
second
endless
because this
stream
is
of questions
how the
you
burden of
ask
proof
me.
works,
It's my
right?
turn to answer. It's my turn to ask
No, I
the
want to
question.
see the picture of this bubble on the water.
You had your
not an
say,
endless-
and now
it's not an
I'm
endless
trying to
stream of
clarify so we
questions.
can
You don't get
we
to
can
ask
go
me an
over this
endless
burden
stream
of
of
proof
questions.
that seems to have an issue. And
No,
I'm
you don't
trying
get
to
to
figure
add.
out how
You don't get to ask me
you're
an endless
designating
stream
how
of
the burden of
questions.
proof works.
It's my turn to ask a question now.
Because you're
That's
changing how the terms
conversation
work.
works.
Just let
Okay?
Jeremy
Yeah,
respond.
we were having a conversation, and I asked you,
Stop.
is water flat?
Let Jeremy respond, please.
I have 6 feet of water being flat. So where is it curving at?
Where's the picture of that?
To the nanometer.
Go get a.
Where's the
Can you
picture?
show me the evidence?
Yeah, I don't see any evidence. I see a cool story, bro.
My pool opens up. All right, you know what? I'll do it in a bathtub.
Yes, I say it's not flat to the nanometer.
But do you think that's sufficient, Jeremy? I mean, are you happy with that? As a truth seeker, as someone who's genuinely inquiring about the nature of reality, do you, given what you know about, listen,
I'm not happy.
You can't
with it.
answer because you can't because I haven't
happy.
asked the question yet. You don't know
I'm
what
not
the
happy
question
with
is.
it. I do know, and I'm not happy with it. No,
You don't know. How can you possibly know?
Am I happy? Okay, go ahead.
Right. So, given what you know about the extent extent of the Earth, what you already know from your own travels, from the accounts of people that you trust and believe, you know, is it sufficient to measure 6 feet of water and say, from this, I can derive the shape of the shape of the entire object that I'm standing on?
Yeah, I could have answered that before the monologue, but anyways, here we go. No, I'm not happy with that. We obviously need to measure longer, but with my measurement, it measures flat. So you guys are saying it's curving now. Let's see it.
Well, no, because I think
What do you mean no?
Well, because I think that your claim that it's flat is completely unsupported. And I think you've just agreed with that. You're saying that even you're not happy with a 6 foot measurement. I mean, and let's face it, given that what you would say you know about the size of the Earth, because you would know some things about the size of it, 6 foot is absolutely pathetic, tiny, just pointless drop in the ocean that you cannot possibly hope that would tell you anything about the entire the shape of the entire object. And so I think if you're going to make the claim that it's flat or that water is flat, you need to measure a damn sight more than 6 feet of it to be able to establish that to be true.
Or maybe if you're claiming it's curving, you need to measure farther.
However, at the moment, we're talking about your claim that it's flat.
Yeah, it measures flat. You got measurements of it curving?
Well, I'm going to go take a measurement right now for at 6 feet over at the water.
Hang on,
and it's not going to be flat.
It's good that you keep trying to flip the burden of proof all the time, but the fact that you're having to play this game, Jeremy, should tell you something. It tells everyone else something. It tells them that you don't care about what's true. You care about what you can get away with.
No, everyone knows I care about what's true, and I am trying to measure it farther.
You don't. Obviously, you don't.
However,
so
it's
support
very
your
difficult.
claim.
So for now, we only have a very short measurement
where just
of
that
flatness.
6 feet of water is flat, or can you infinitely scale that, like Jem said? So water is flat.
Yeah,
does that
infinitely
just mean
scale it. Go
that
ahead
6
if you
foot
want.
area is flat,
Infinitely
or
scale it if
that
you
can
want.
be
It's
infinitely
flat
scaled
the whole
across
way
that
down.
whole
Prove
lake
me
or
wrong.
whatever?
It's flat the whole way down. Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. That's the burden of proof. Is prove me wrong.
Well, the burden of
Is just
proof is
making
now
a
on
claim
you because I
without
measured
evidence.
it. You guys are saying it's okay. I've measured
No.
it flat. Okay, hold
You've
on.
made you've just made
Hold
the
on.
claim it's flat all the way. So the burden of proof is on you.
Yeah, now I want to see it flat all the
I've
way.
measured it
Sure,
flat.
that
I've
spirit
measured it-
level shows that 6 feet might be flat, but that doesn't mean that a mile away on that lake is flat. And if
It's
you
flat
think
for
that
6
your spirit level can
my
be
God,
infinitely just planed out
fucking
just by
monologue master
eyeballing
over
it,
here.
then I think that that's a fundamental problem with you.
All right. So I got 6 feet of it being flat. Now you guys are saying it's
No.
curving. Let's see it.
I disagree. It's not flat anywhere, but you got to measure it.
Well, I got 6 feet of it being flat.
No, you don't. You've never actually shown that.
Sorry, you got to
I mean, anyone can go do it. Go fill your bathtub up.
measure it with the nanometer.
Put it on the bathtub.
You never
Put it
did
on
the
the
experiment,
bathtub.
Jeremy. You never did the
Let
experiment.
me know if you find some curve.
Yeah, you have no
experiment.
proof that you did this experiment. Like you have
Let
no
me know if you find
pictures,
some
you have no
curve in 6
write up,
feet of
you have
water, and then
no
we'll
you have
we'll
no
go from there.
methodology, you have nothing.
Otherwise, it's not curving because it measures flat.
This experiment doesn't exist.
Sure, it does. I did it before.
You're trying to make me prove your claim?
You got to prove it then.
Yeah,
No,
he's trying to make us
my
prove his
claim is
claim
you
that the
get a
whole lake's
6 foot
flat.
spirit level, put it on the water, it's flat.
You got to prove you did the experiment, Jeremy.
Anyone can go do it.
Nope, you're reversing the burden of proof.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. I want to see your proof.
And that's impossible, like making a giant vacuum push a
I want
rocket.
to see your evidence for your claim, dude. That's all. It's not hard.
It's amazing how quick their arguments just completely run out when they've got to support their bullshit in some way.
I was so excited
You
to hear
guys haven't come
something.
back with anything. He said, okay, we measured it as flat. He measured it flat with the spirit level. It's flat. Now,
Yeah.
what's you guys contradicting information? What's your experimental evidence to contradict it? Because we've all done that.
Again, Toy, it's a nice try, but at the moment we're discussing Jeremy's claim that water is always flat, and it is flat all the way, according to Jeremy. This is his claim that we're discussing.
way, yeah.
This doesn't require us to do anything. We're just dealing with his claim at the moment.
All right. Well, then you
was
have
not.
falsified
you
his
don't-
claim, and he has supported it with experimental evidence. So
No, he hasn't.
No,
there
he
you go.
No, he
He
hasn't.
claimed he did an experiment with zero backup.
The experiment
Literally,
was
anyone could do that.
Okay, well, look,
Anyone
I
can go get a
measured.
spirit level
I
in a
measured
bathtub.
6 feet near me, 6 feet of ground, and it was curved. So the Earth's
Talking
curved.
about water, Jam. Come
Yeah,
on.
all the way.
No, I measured
Come on,
ground.
Yeah,
Jam.
exactly.
I measured
Yeah.
some ground.
Ground's curving. Come, Jesus.
So we now
Christ,
prove the
Jam.
curve exists.
There we go. Job done.
According to Jeremy's his methodology,
You
absolutely.
got curvy ground.
Good job,
Nice
dude.
work.
Yeah, very, very slight curve it had.
Yeah, that proves something. Were you on a
Yeah.
hill or?
Yeah,
Proves-
it does.
proves the
It
Earth's
does,
curved.
actually.
It proves there's elevation changes on the
You
Earth.
went to
that's all.
Jeremy's School of Experimental Proof, huh?
By the way, if we return back to the rocket question, we could actually use the same kind of logic. Everyone can go do it. I heard Toy Brandon say this. Everyone can go do it. Everyone can go test that rockets actually work in a vacuum. It only needs a vacuum chamber after all. So,
do you ever come up
There you
with
go.
anything by yourself, or you just comment on other people and make shit
Have
up?
you noticed? Look,
I have a contrary question, Essie. Do you have
All of
anything
that-
else but insults?
all of their responses are attempts to switch the burden of proof. None of it is supporting what they're saying in any way. All of it is no. You guys show us something. You guys do it, please. You guys should realize how desperate you sound.
You should be ashamed after your curved ground example, Jem. That is despicable.
It's as good as yours.
No,
you can
absolutely
look,
not.
If you can measure the shape, if you can measure 6 feet of water and derive the shape of the entire Earth from it, I can measure 6 feet of ground and derive the shape of the entire Earth from it. Why can't
Who's
I?
claiming that? Because who's claiming that the ground is flat? No one claims that. We claim that the water is conforming to the shape. It's either curving. 8
However,
inches
I
per
claim
mile,
that
or it's flat.
I claim that the ground curves gradually, and lo and behold, where I measured it, it did.
So if I show you a picture of the ground going uphill, what? You're a concave earther? You ready to be a concave earther, Jem?
Well, according to your rules, yes.
Yeah, you ready to be a concave earther? All right.
Well, I'm only borrowing your epistemology temporarily to make the point.
No, my epistemology
Because
is we
your
have flat water. Hold on.
Your epistemology is that apparently you can derive the shape of an entire planet from looking at 6 feet of it.
No,
I don't think that's
water measuring.
I don't think
flat.
that's true or reasonable. Do you think that that's reasonable?
That we got water measuring flat. Now
Do
you
you
guys are
think
saying,
you could convince
no, it's not
any other?
flat.
Do you think you could convince any other human being who isn't already a flat earther that that's a reasonable way to determine the shape of the Earth by measuring 6 feet of it?
How about the fact that the bathtub's flat, and then you go to the lake and it's flat, then you go to the beach and it's flat. So everywhere you look, it's flat. But you want to tell me, well, that doesn't matter because you have to imagine it being curved, and that's where your problem's at. Is that your imagination's not big enough to realize you're living on a spinning.
I claim that what you're seeing isn't flat. Prove it to me.
Yeah.
He said the proof's on you because we can look at a bathtub, a lake, and everywhere else, and it looks
Nope,
flat.
you can't.
So where's your
I'm like a flat earther. I can change the rules on you, and my rule is you have to measure to the nano.
I've never seen a curved lake. Have you ever seen a curved lake?
Every one of them.
Yes, yes, I have. I have seen a curved lake. Yes, I have seen a curved lake. Just letting you know that.
Lakes have tides too, Dave.
Lakes never curve. That's fucking ridiculous. Nonsense.
It's not.
Well, that's a bold claim. Why don't you prove it?
Well, there's plenty of flat earther stuff, isn't there, where we can see buildings obstructed on the other side of a lake.
That doesn't mean that the lake's curving. That means there's some kind of optical effect in the air happening that makes it appear like that. That doesn't mean the lake's curving.
So where's your proof of that then? Where's your evidence?
Refraction.
That's another claim you've made.
A proof
You're
of
knocking
refraction.
them out tonight, Jeremy. The claims.
You need my proof of that refraction exists?
No, the proof that this optical effect exists. Because
Called
refraction
refraction.
is not this. No, that's not true, is it? I could look at any definition of refraction. It will not be this weird optical effect that makes things makes
Have
things
you ever
turn
heard of-
into water.
Have you ever heard of sinking?
Yes, I've heard of sinking.
Stop. There you go. Boom. Case
Boom.
Yeah, well, you
Jeremy.
you can
lost,
pretend that
Jem.
that's true if you want. You can pretend that that's true if you want, but you're just pretending, aren't you? Just borrowing from the current model and pretending that the current model is some weird optical effect that you've dreamed up, that you've had to dream up to make your silly idea work. It should bother you. It should bother you. This form of reasoning, that you get to just make up an optical effect, and to make it try and sound more credible, you just call it the existing name and say, "Aha, it's that."
I didn't make up syncing or what it does or anything.
Okay, so how have you established that in any image where this occurs, syncing is the reason? How have you established?
Right, I'm going to use globe logic. Ready? Since we know the Earth is flat, it has to be syncing.
Right. So
That's globe
once
logic.
again, you demonstrate the point I've made several times now, that you don't care what's true. You just want to play the flat Earth game. It's just a
I don't want to
LARP.
play the flat Earth game.
It's just a
I don't
LARP,
wanna play
isn't it? You don't care about what's true. It's what you can get off with on a technicality all the time.
Jim, are you giving up coffee or cigarettes or something? The last couple of days you've been pretty
Hey, Jeremy, I deny that water.
I think that it's when I just keep hearing this profound dishonesty, and it does bother me. You know, like when I was talking to Sheeple earlier, you know, it worries me that there are adults running around that really have no means of discerning what's true in reality. It can all be a complete fantasy for them, and they have no way of telling that, and that really frightens me.
So you were talking about Sheeple about dishonesty. The guy that made a bet and then welched on it? That guy?
Who are
That's
you
who
talking?
you're going to talk about honesty with?
What? I think you maybe completely missed the point I just made. I wasn't holding Sheeple up as a bastion of honesty in any way.
right.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know how you derive that from what I just said. But
Passed your eyes like a pint of milk, mate. That was, wasn't it?
Listen, I'm not trying to play no games. Why don't you guys help me brainstorm on something we could do?
God
damn
This
it.
whole silly nonsense.
No, it's silly. It's ended. It's just you. And look, it's not. We need to do something to end this whole silliness. You're doing the silliness, and you know you're doing it. You aren't saying, "Well, let me find out let me genuinely make an inquiry into the nature of this thing." You're going, "I don't have to make an inquiry because you said existence. So if I can tag existence onto the end of this word, I don't have to even think about it. I can just leave it for you to do it, and you've got to bring it to me because I'm entitled to that now." I mean, it's just idiotic.
Yes,
This
if I say Santa...
This isn't an argument that you could ever take forward. You couldn't ever you present this academically anywhere, in any kind of, to any reasonable... But you could get away with this on the internet where there's tits like me that just like arguing. But you won't... It's useless to you in any other way, isn't it? You know it is.
The reason we're down this hole now, Jem, is because you don't know how burden of proof works, honestly.
Wow.
Just hit you with the group.
That's just more of but that's just more of what I've just described. That's just you trying to get off on a technicality and not actually caring what's true. It's a game to you, and you should just admit it. You should just say, "I just like playing the game. I like acting the flat earther. It's fun to argue, and just be honest and not pretend that it's real."
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I have started to have fun with it lately because it's just a merry-go-round of nonsense every day. But I am after the truth.
Right, but why does that should bother you? That should bother you because the facts that support the idea that the Earth is spherical, that's not a merry-go-round of nonsense. It is.
I've seen
coherent, coherent data from thousands of different sources that all meshes together. It's not a merry-go-round of nonsense in any way.
It absolutely is. I've seen your coherent, in quotes, coherent data, and it's a merry-go-round of nonsense.
Anyway.
I've torn every bit of it apart. You have none.
I'm gonna get a curry.
All right.
So I calm down.
All right.
So,
yeah, let's all calm down.
I think that the burden of proof, the way we did that for you, doesn't work. I mean, you say it's flat. I say you have
You're clipping. More accurate.
Over your 6 feet, you have to measure water to 0.0000024 inches to prove to me that it's flat.
Why?
Because
we
that's
got measurements. We got measurements that it's flat. If you think it's curving, let's see it.
That's the tolerance that I'm requesting of you.
No, that's ridiculous.
Why?
Because it's a ridiculous tolerance.
Wow, you're calling something else.
That's kind
Mumble,
of
mumble. Someone must be on. I hear mumble, mumble, mumble.
I hear you bumbling around here too,
Mumble,
man. You
mumble.
fucking idiot. Nobody's
Well,
mumbling
besides
to you,
Jeremy's
Jeremy.
spirit level, I mean, we have the fact that horizontal planes are used as the basis for building, I don't know, just about damn near every fucking thing we live in.
Deviation from
Right?
that horizontal plane is evident everywhere we look.
Yeah, it's self-evident that level's horizontal. You guys got to come up with some evidence.
You cannot
You're the one
actually.
that
It
can
even says
exert
so in the dictionary.
on a giant fucking ball.
It even says levels horizontal in the dictionary. Remember, you guys were yelling at Crit yesterday for making shit up,
Well, fucking
making words
what?
up. Like you guys, when you guys
Stop
say level
pretending
curves,
you understand
and we go
English
to the
letters.
and we go to the dictionary.
Stop
and we go to the
pretending.
dictionary and see level in fact is horizontal.
Brothers,
You
what we
guys
say?
would say, no, it's not.
That's what y'all are missing. You're missing the point about level. A level horizontal plane is only level at one point.
They don't. No, they don't say that. They said it's level.
Everywhere beyond that point, it becomes increasingly out of level.
By the way, what Toy Brandon just did is another silly game that flat earthers like to play. In addition to, if we put existence at the end of this phrase, it's your burden of proof. A second game they like to play is, I will use the word self-evident, therefore I don't have the burden of proof. Okay, well, I can do that. The globe is self-evident. There you go.
No, it's a matter of philosophy. It's called, I take that which is apparent and self-evident, the way I experience the world and every day for 40 plus years on this earth, and that's my starting basis. And until I get evidence that what I experience firsthand, all the empirical data I have, is incorrect, then I don't go off and believe fantastical theories about living on a giant floating space ball.
Oh God, not this.
Well, that's at least a bit more sensible, but that's not actually what Toy Brandon said. So you're kind of making a strawman argument about him because he used the word self-evident. So if you want to make an argument for yourself as to how you think, that's fine. But I was talking about Toy Brandon's argument.
No, Toy Brandon
and
agrees with me
self-evidence.
100%. We agree 100%.
And I think
So your
that
argument
so
is
so
not
you
how
are making an argument from
your
self-evidence, and that's invalid.
Your argument is you don't like the fact that he used the word self-evident. That's your argument.
Yes, that's actually my argument, and here is the reason why.
Oh, God.
You can just tag
We heard the
the
reason
word
why.
self-evident
We already
at the.
heard why. We heard why.
Okay, so you like to, so you're now spiraling, and you're interrupting.
No, I'm just saying you guys all do this. You monologue and say the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, but see, you can't just put the word self-evident at the end of every phrase and think that you have a point. You have to actually justify using the word. And you guys don't justify it. And I haven't said this before, so you didn't have a reason to interrupt me.
If I said unicorns are real, it's self-evident. Does that work for you?
No, it doesn't. And that actually proves my point. You have to justify using the word, and you cannot use it in that context.
Of course, that statement wouldn't work for you because it's not self-evident.
Exactly. And I'm saying that's exactly my point. You have to justify using the word self-evident. You have not justified it with unicorns, and you haven't justified it. It's justified with unicorns. Okay, good luck with that.
With the flatness, it's justified. Now, obviously, not with unicorns.
Can you justify your claim that it's justified? You're now claiming the existence of justification. It's your burden of proof. Go ahead.
Yeah. It measures flat.
Okay.
Grab your spirit level.
It measures flat. You've now claimed the existence of measures that it measures flat.
Yeah, it does.
I need actually. You need to post some chat.
Well, next chance I get, I'll grab my spirit level again and fill my bathtub up.
It measures flat if you only measure enough that you can get away with saying it's flat.
Go get your curry, Jem.
What you can get away with.
Yeah,
Go
You
get
just
your
made a
curry.
claim,
That
Jim.
is,
You just made a claim, Jim, that at some point it stopped measuring flat.
I
Back it
didn't.
up.
Never
Yeah,
said
you did.
any of that.
You did.
You just made that up.
No,
I didn't.
no, you said as long as you measure only to
I
a certain
didn't.
extent. That's what you
I
said.
didn't. Yes, that's what I said. That isn't me
Because-
saying. That isn't me making any claims about what it does beyond that.
So
So
we all agree
again,
it's gonna stay
nice
flat.
try. That's about the 6th attempt to switch the burden of proof we've seen in the last 5 minutes. It's pathetic, guys. Why?
That's 'cause we
Why?
had the
you-
burden of
silly
proof to begin
why?
with, dude.
Why is your worldview, what your assessment of reality, entirely based on what other people provide for you? That's how you're deriving.
That's a mischaracterization.
No, it's not. That's how you're deriving reality. You're saying, no, I don't have to establish anything to be true about reality. It's everybody else's job to do that for me. That's what you're saying.
This is it. I've already established what reality is. This is how I
No, you haven't.
experience the
No, you
world.
haven't.
This is how I've measured it. Now you think
You
it's
haven't.
something different. Show me your fucking proof.
Well, one, you haven't measured it, and two, you've only it's intellectually, profoundly intellectually dishonest to do what you're doing, exactly the same as Jeremy, pretending that you can derive the shape of the entire planet by measuring 6 feet of it, or in your case, looking at a small portion of it and making a guess. That's not a truth. Somebody who's genuinely interested in the truth
Get off the
it's
fucking
not a way.
soapbox.
Let me finish. It's not a way that someone who is genuinely looking for a truthful answer to these sort of questions would proceed. It's a way that someone would proceed if they're trying to win a game.
Hey, Jim, you're
In
well
fact,
aware that we've
cheat
been
at a
spending
game.
months trying to come up with an experiment to do a longer measurement, right? I mean, you've been in the conversations. Why are you accusing us of pretending and playing games and shit? You know we've been trying to come up with something.
Because you've never come up with anything. In 5 years, none of you have come up with anything. And when you do come up with something and it doesn't agree with you, you just say, oh, well, we did it wrong. We need to do it in another way. And it's the heavenly forces are playing a part. And the non-uniform density transition zone or the ether band is there.
Jesus Christ. Jem, we've never had anything
You just
definitive
make
to
shit
do.
up. So that
We've never done anything to
Jem, we're doing you a favor. We're doing shit for you. It's your burden of proof.
You just make shit up so that you're
in our everlasting generosity, we're trying to take the burden upon ourselves. We're trying to help you.
You make shit up so that your fantasy keeps working. That's what you do.
We do this all for you, Jem.
I mean, look how many flat earthers still present those out of focus pictures of stars and say, look, they're not what NASA are telling us. You aren't people who care about what's true. Come on.
Of course we are, Jem. Stop. Just stop.
Why
Jem.
do you
You're
hate
being
us so
insane
much,
right now.
Jem?
You need
Because
to go
I
get your
think-
curry.
Because I
and
think
cool down.
because I think that you are pretending to be people who care about what's true. You're doing it right now, and that cannot be true. It can't be true because your behavior never ever reflects that. And I think that is dishonest, and I really don't like dishonesty. I don't like unfairness, and it seems unfair.
I really am not pretending. I don't know if you'll believe me since you think I'm a liar, but I'm not pretending. I know Jeremy's not pretending. We're not pretending, dude.
Well, I think Brandon, I think you probably do believe it, but what I can't get is how you can't see your own strategies that you're having to deploy to keep believing it, and how these do not, as I've just said, these are not the strategies of a truth seeker.
Well, I think you're wrong about that there. I think there's a disagreement about where the burden of proof lies. And we obviously have profound philosophical differences on what evidence is and how you should start off an investigation and what you should believe until when. So I think that's where it lies. It's just a philosophical difference that you're taking it as some kind of pretentious game. It's not. I mean, yeah, we fuck around
It is
sometimes,
because
but
look,
it's not a game.
if you're saying you're a truth seeker, the argument about where the burden of proof lies would not come into it at all. Why? Like I say, why are you formulating your position on reality based on what other people are going to do for you. You should be trying to prove everything for yourself.
We are.
We are. And not, well, you aren't though, are you? You
Yes,
sit
we
here
are. We
demanding
every day.
Yeah,
Jem,
well,
every
if that was true, Jeremy, there wouldn't have been 5 occasions in the last few minutes where each of you tried to switch the burden of proof. You'd be going, oh, great, thanks for telling me that. I'll look into that. That isn't something I really spent some time on. I'd never thought of it that way. Those would be I mean, obviously not after all this time, but those would be the sort of things we would expect to hear from someone who was genuinely confused about these issues and had got some argument presented to them for it. And you guys never do.
It's not our
all you ever want to do is find a way to say, nah.
It's not our fault that your model is chock full of claims that are basically unfalsifiable or very, very hard to prove. Like unprovable and unfalsifiable claims.
No, that's
you
not.
have no
that's
evidence
not,
for yourself that it's empiric or
that's not anybody's fault, and that's your
It's
problem.
your fault because you keep on making claims that aren't true.
That you think that it's a fault of someone that reality is complex and requires sometimes complex explanations, and sometimes aspects of reality evade our ability to gather lots of evidence about them. Although I can't really think what that would be, but I'll give you it for now, that there are some things where it's harder for us to gather evidence. That's what we would expect the case to be in a complex reality that we appear to be living in. And saying that that's the fault of someone or assigning that to be some sort of a lie already, which is what you seem to be doing, you're creating a narrative that someone's at fault, that someone's deliberately done this to you. They've made this difficult for you. You're already in the narrative. And of course, reality is complex.
There's an awful lot of words to say, no, it's not.
Yeah, I did get a bit rambly, sorry.
You know what I think this is, Jem? I think this is one of the most elaborate burden of proof reversals on your part that I've ever heard in my entire life. I commend you for your attempt, but we're not buying it.
I know the shape.
Brandon.
Listen, I know the shape of the Earth. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind what that shape is. It's supported by mountains of evidence. You are not entitled to have me prove things to you. You're supposed to be interested enough in reality to want to do that yourself and not be trying to get off on, oh, well, I looked at this little bit and that looked flat, so I'm just going to go with flat. That's not true or honest. It's just a bullshit.
I've been in here every day for the past year trying to figure out a way to do it, and you act like I haven't.
Yeah, but it's just a game, Jeremy, isn't it?
It's not a game. What?
Because there will never be an answer. When you first came up with this, how many times did people point out that other people have already tried this? Brian Mullen was going to do it. That Mitchell from Australia was going to do it.
So people try something and it fails. This is just like our Institutes of Excellence.
No, they
people
never
try things. People try things and they fail. So you think, oh, we should just stop and give up and not try it anymore?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes you should, yes.
No, why?
And
We would never stop.
No, the definition of insanity
Mumble,
is going
mumble.
about the same shit, expecting different results, Jeremy.
And you will ever.
By the way, Jeremy, you say mumble when Stone talks. I think it's a bit childish, and tactics like that don't belong into this room.
Yes, Jeremy's very articulate though, so he never mumbles or says anything out of turn. Correct.
I mean, if you had, I would turn him back up. If you let me know if he ever says anything good with substance that's worthwhile on topic, and I'll turn him back up.
See, because Jeremy always talks about topics that he knows about. Obviously, he's a very astute individual.
Yeah, a lot of people in here like that. They never say anything on topic or to the point or that's relevant. They just come out of the woodwork with nonsense or nonstop insults. It's not even worth hearing them.
Yeah, but that's kind of what you have to suffer, isn't it? that's kind of what you have to suffer, isn't it? Like,
No, I have to. I don't have
if someone
to suffer.
says,
I
if
turn
someone
them
says,
down.
like Lori,
if
Jeremy.
if someone says
down
something
and
that
I-
you
I
don't
don't have to
like,
suffer.
A useless guy
I
like
turn
that.
them
Yeah, I
yeah,
down.
understand.
see, and now you guys
and I
don't
don't have
suffer
to
me.
suffer.
Yeah.
I turn them down and I don't have to suffer. So you saying I have to suffer is wrong.
Actually, I think you do. First of all, it's
I
actually
don't. I haven't turned
there-
down. I'm not suffering.
So let me clarify, Chempanda. What's the rule here? Can you turn down someone so that you don't hear what they are saying? Is that okay?
As long as you don't talk over them, then it's not a problem. And obviously, I don't have any way of policing what people are doing that. So it's just when it becomes a problem in the conversation that I ask people to not do it, because and you can't do it to a mod.
Fair enough.
I got a
However,
question.
Lori, you're irrelevant, Lori.
I got a question.
Yeah, as in Montreal, I understand that you're butthurt, but I might give you a hint. You coming after me and bringing your butthurt for everyone else to see. It's
I've
just
got to
getting a
stop
bit
you there,
tiring,
Laurie.
and
I've got to
it's not
stop you. I'm
doing
sorry,
anything.
Laurie. Laurie, I've got to stop you. We've got a super chat. We've got a super chat. They're paying for their comments, and because these shows will these shows will fly by, and obviously they want it answered at the moment when we're live now. So
well done, Chemo. Thank you.
yeah, because if if it goes by, then it's irrelevant for the guy who's paid. So this is $5 from C4. Who's speaking? Who wants to talk? Okay,
I
that's
think somebody should answer the super chat while you do it.
right. Where is he?
He's trying to read the super chat. Shut up.
Fuck off, Jeremy.
Mumble.
Okay, so every day, this is from C4. Every day, Jeremy comes here and pretends he's a flat earther, and every day you guys argue with him, and every day I enjoy listening to it. That's from C4, $5.
I got fans. C4 is one of my biggest fans. Shouts out to C4.
I enjoy the argument as well sometimes. I enjoy trying to best people in these debates. But I'm not holding the position that you guys are holding. And I don't know.
Yeah, because you think you're right. You think you got it all figured out, Jeremy.
No,
that's the problem with you.
Can
Yeah,
I ask Jeremy a question real quick?
Go ahead.
So, Jeremy, you had claimed that the water was flat. That was your claim.
It is. It is.
Okay. Did you ever provide the evidence?
No.
Okay. Just want to
didn't record
clarify that you didn't bring any
I
evidence.
didn't record it. I could record
Okay.
it next time, I guess.
Okay.
This is something
Just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page, that you didn't bring the evidence.
We're on the same page. Anyone in the audience listening
Okay.
can grab a spirit level, fill their bathtub up, and see that this is true.
So at the moment, it's not self-evident. And even if you can measure flatness on a small scale, you have to justify that it's self-evident that it's also flat on the longer scale.
All right. Like I said, we're trying to come up with something to see if it's curving or not. So don't act like I'm willing to just take. Don't act like I'm just willing to take 6 or 12 feet or whatever of a measurement. Obviously not. We know the claims. We'll take on your burden of proof that you've now reversed onto us, and we'll find out if the water's curving or not.
Okay. When you get that evidence, I'll be here.
No doubt. I got you, bro.
Oh, no. I wonder if they'll ever do anything.
If we got something, why don't you guys help us come up with something that will falsify the globe?
The reason I don't, I've made this point before. Sorry, I know.
Can I just say something real quick?
Go on then.
Hey, Jeremy, you don't remember when me, you, and Scott and a number of people sat down and Scott told you that the way that I told you to measure the radius or the shape of the Earth would work. Do you remember that?
The seafloor miles?
Where you take a string and you lay it on the bottom of the lake, and then you put a string on the top of the lake, and you figure out what the difference is in the curvature of the Earth. You don't remember that?
Yeah, I still don't really follow that one, Dave. Maybe run me through it again real quick.
All right, just say you had a string that would float, right? And you went from one side of the lake to the other, so that'd be say 3 mile string, and it would float on top. And then every 100 yards, you would take a line and drop it down to the bottom of the lake, right?
Oh, this one. Yeah. I still don't understand this one though, because how are you differentiating between flat or curved?
Because that's the problem with all your arguments, Jeremy. You don't get it. There's the guys that have been in here longer than you that have figured it out.
Yeah, but how does that
Okay?
differentiate? Because what you're saying sounds very easy to do.
Scott right there and said, Scott V said right there and said, in theory, yes, it would work. No, has it ever been done? No. You just take it. You just figure out the shape of the bottom by using the top, and then when you take the top out and you know exactly how the bottom is versus the top, then you'll know if there's any curvature between a flat plane and a spherical Earth. It's very simple to do, and we can do it on a 3-mile stretch. So,
would you have to know if the bottom of the floor bed is flat or curving or whatever?
It doesn't matter if it's curving or not. All it's about is the shape of the bottom and knowing how far the bottom is compared to the top. Just say you take that same string that you're laying on the top, right? And then you let it sink to the bottom. You're going to have to add string to that lake to make it fit on the bottom, right?
I mean, it depends on the shape of the bottom. You'd have to know if it was flat or curving with the water.
It doesn't matter what the shape of the bottom is here, okay? You have a string. You pull it tight on top of the water, right?
All right.
Okay, then you just let that string sink. You're going to have to add string to that amount, to the amount of string that was on top to be able to let it float to the bottom, correct?
Yeah.
So you're going to know. So you're going to know
forward. Any diagonal would mean it's a longer distance, so it would require more string to cover the same amount.
If the bottom, hold on, Dave. If the top of the water's flat, then you wouldn't have to add any string. If the top of the water's curving and the floor of the lake is curving with the water, you wouldn't have to add any string.
No, that's not got anything to do with the curvature of the Earth. The difference between how far you have to go on a round Earth versus a flat Earth changes, right? Because it's further to travel on a spherical Earth than it is in a straight line. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, so once you have that measurement, all you have to do is go and figure out what the measurement should be on a round Earth, that the 25,000 miles diameter, and if there is no difference from their calculation versus our calculation, because the string's going to be a lot shorter on our calculation. You get my point?
Yeah, Jeremy. You're thinking about it where the string is on the curved water, but what he meant is you're holding the string tight between like the 2 points or whatever, so it's cutting through the water. If it was a
you're trying to make it cut through the water. I see what you're saying.
You don't have to have it cut through the water.
Yeah, but you don't have to have it make it cut through. But what he's talking about is having the string taut, so it's a straight line.
No. It just has to float so you know the distance, so you know exactly how many feet it is from one side of that shore to the other. All you want to know is exactly how many feet it is.
String, we measured it. It's 3 miles long. Now what?
Okay, then you let it sink to the bottom, and when it sinks to the bottom, it's going to be 3 miles and whatever, 3 miles, 3.25 miles, right?
No, it's the same exact number. Now what? We got the same exact number. Now what? Does that mean it's flat?
You can't have the same number because it's going to sink, and for it to sink, you're going to have to add string to it because it's longer across the bottom than it is across the top.
Dave, if the top is flat, and the bottom.
Jeremy, you got a mental block here. A percentage, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No, Jeremy's right
Dave,
too, though.
If the top is flat and the bottom's flat, we're not going to have to add any string. It's going to be the same number. Dave.
Listen to me. There's no way the top and the bottom will be the same length if you got to go down and touch the bottom from where you're at on the shore on each side. Because once you let it go, you're going to have to let some string out on both sides for it to float down to the bottom. Then you're going to know how far across it is on the bottom, right?
On a flat Earth and globe Earth,
it doesn't matter. Quit thinking about globe Earth.
You lost me now, Dallas.
Huh? He's got a mental block. He doesn't. He doesn't.
No, you lost me now. When you said release more string on each end, you lost me.
All right.
Percentage is sharper than the top right,
you got a string. You get in a little rowboat and you go across the lake and you're letting out the string from one side to the other, right? And that string floats on top. That string floats on top of the lake. You kind of pull it taut. You know it's 15,000 feet across the lake, right?
Okay, 15,000 feet back.
All right, so at that point right there, you just say that you have a button and you can make the string sink from that point, right?
Okay.
Because it's shrinking down on the bottom of the lake, it's a further across than it is on the top.
That's going to hold true to flat or globe Earth. How do we differentiate between the two?
All right, there you go. It's going to be true on a flat or a globe Earth. Now do you understand? All right. So
how do we differentiate?
Because all you've got to do is take how many feet it is on that line and how many feet it would be on the curvature of the Earth, because you got 8 inches per mile squared on a curved Earth. So they're saying the water is curving on the top. So the water on top would be longer on their curved Earth than it would be on a flat Earth. Does that make sense?
All right, David, Jeremy, David, take a short breather. Again, as I said, bringing back the topics to the most important, brings in the super chats. And we've got another one. And this is from Kit for $10. And he says, keep talking that SH*T, Jeremy. You're going to be a flat...
Shit. Shouts out to Kit.
Jeremy.
Done? Go ahead.
So, yeah, keep talking that...
Shit, Sway.
Okay, so again, that's $10. Can I finish the super chat, Jeremy? Yeah, so that's $10 from Kit. Paid for this, Jeremy. Paid for this. Keep talking that SH*T, Jeremy. You're going to be a flat Earth superstar. That's $10 from Kit. Thank you, Kit. Nice one. So, yeah, like I said.
Gonna be.
Shouts out to Kit. Kit's cool. I've talked with Kit before.
Nice one, Kimo. Cheers.
Did he pay for the star T or did he pay for the word? Kimo, is that what he wrote? The star T? Or are you misrepresenting what he wrote and paid money for?
Someone should be fact-checking if Kimo is actually reading these properly.
By the way, Kit, I'm already top 5.
Not saying that I don't trust Kimo. Not saying that at all.
Yeah, let me go check and see what it really says.
No, Kimo did say it correctly.
I was asking.
Well, you'll move on up into the top 5 if you can figure out what I'm telling you. Okay,
Dave. No one knows what you're telling me.
What do you mean? All right. Do we agree that on a flat Earth, the distance on a flat between a flat plane and a curved is different than the distance that you go if you're going like around the ball versus going in a straight line? Do we agree it's longer to go around a curve? Okay. Yes. When you measure the top of the lake and the bottom of the lake, and then you compare it to what it would be on a flat Earth versus a round Earth, there should be a differential in what that bottom of that lake in the calculation from the top and the bottom. That 8 inches per mile.
Hold on.
No, at 8 inches per mile squared, then will be able to be measured because the string difference.
But Dave, it depends on the surface, the shape of the bottom of the lake, though, because if the bottom of the lake is bending with the curve of the water, or vice versa, it's flat with the top of the water.
All you're wanting to know is if the water's flat, Jeremy. It doesn't matter anything about the bottom.
I know, and how do we tell if the water? I don't get it. Does anyone else get it?
No, it's stupid.
No, Scott V said right there and said yes. You don't remember Scott V sitting right there telling you, Jeremy, yes, in theory that would work. You don't remember him telling you that?
He could have possibly said that. Maybe, yeah. I don't remember. No, I can't recall.
Okay, so I don't understand why you don't have a mental block. If you understand that the difference between the distance on a flat plane versus a round Earth, there's a differential in the distance. You don't agree with that?
I absolutely agree. It'd be longer to go around a curve than in a straight line. Yes, of course.
Okay, so how would you go about measuring that differential if you have water? If you got water on top and land on the bottom, how would you go about measuring that differential?
Well, you couldn't unless you knew the shape of the land on the bottom.
What do you mean you can't? The water on top is different length. I don't understand why you have such a mental. You're supposed to be smart here, and I can't believe that none of you guys have the ability to comprehend anything. What's wrong with you?
Emo, do you get this thing with the lake and the string?
Dallas, I think you got the cart before the horse a little bit. So before we do this stuff, we have to know the distance, right? That's how we compare it to see which one's longer or which one's shorter. So how are you measuring the distance to begin with?
All you have to know is if the Earth is flat, right? If you in the first mile, that string's going to be 8 inches longer on a round Earth, right? If you measured a lake and you went across it, right? If the Earth was round, the string would be 8 inches longer on the first mile.
No,
right?
it wouldn't.
What do you mean? No, it
Why?
wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
Why would it be 8 inches longer?
You'd have the
Dave?
same distance,
You're
but
not
they just
using
say
proper
that it's
trigonometry.
dropping 8 inches. It's the
It's
same
not-
distance
it's
of ground
not-
covered,
it's-
though.
It's not 8
it's-
inches longer. It's 70% of that.
Xanax,
It's 6
don't get
inches
involved,
long.
please don't get involved. Just let them go at it.
All right, so we got an admittance. It'd be 6
Or 5
inches.
inches longer.
All right,
Xanax,
5
please
inches
don't.
longer. So we got one baller that understands. So the string will be 5 inches longer on a round Earth versus a flat Earth on just 1 mile, right?
Sure, but now how do we differentiate that from flat, straight?
He just told you that just in 1 mile there'd be a 5-inch difference. If you
Yes,
know
but
what the
now-
shape of the bottom, you just have to know if it's flat on top, and you do that by measuring the bottom and knowing if the top's flat.
Okay, but hold up. Let's say that we didn't know the distance between these two objects, okay? We don't know what the distance is. Now, the globe Earth, what they do is they have this distance and they incorporate the curve into it, right? But if we don't know the distance, if we can't take their numbers that they give us and we're just measuring it for ourselves, we won't know, we won't know whether or not we're going over a curve or not in the long run. We just know that we're like, let's say this string is 3,000 meters. We just know that we went 3,000 meters with it. That's it. We won't be able to observe any, like, just by laying it down on water alone. We won't be able to appreciate whether it's going over a curve or not. I do agree that if it's absolutely straight compared to a curve, then you'd have a shorter string for the straight one because it doesn't have to hug any curve.
You need
right?
a reference. You need
But you
something
have
to
to
reference
have
it to, though.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have something to reference to. Otherwise, you're just going to come up short, but you won't have a distance to compare it to in the first place, anyways.
The reference is the size is the circumference of the Earth. That's the reference. Is the circumference of the Earth. There's supposed to be curvature on this on so many miles. On 1 mile, there's supposed to be 8 inches of difference in drop. If you take that same measurement, if there is no curvature if there is no differential between. Anyway,
Okay, I got you. So you're basically saying take the globe numbers and test them, right? Take their measurement, the distance measurements, and test them.
Exactly.
Now,
And you'll
what if those distance measurements, just basically are done on a flat plane and just incorporate the curve into it? Like, what if they're just bullshit to begin with? What if those distance measurements that they provide are actually flat Earth measurements?
Do you think you're going to come off that lake?
Hey, listen to me. Why would you bring that into fact when they tell you that water is not flat, that water is going to drop 8 inches or whatever it is per mile squared? So there's going to be a differential between their calculations and your calculation. Because
No, you're assuming
remember,
that they got their numbers by their model, like they actually did it. They observed this globe, there's curvature and stuff like that, and that's how they measured it. No. All they did was they measured the distance between these two objects without even knowing what the fuck they were on. So the numbers that they provide aren't globe Earth numbers. They're just more the flat Earth numbers than globe Earth numbers.
that is not how they got the circumference of the Earth. Is what you don't understand. The way they got the circumference of the Earth is off from the base 360 system. Okay.
Yeah, but be reasonable. We're not measuring the circumference of the Earth. We're measuring distances from two objects.
Yeah, Dave,
the only reason they live on a ball is because they've turned a 360-degree circle into a sphere. That's the only reason they live on a ball.
Dave, you're not going to come up off that lake. Okay, let's say you get 3 miles exactly. The lake's 3 miles. And the globe says it's 3 miles. Globe math says the lake's 3 miles. Then what? It's a globe?
Globe math does not say that it's 3 miles because you're measuring in feet, okay? When you
15,000 feet.
You've got to understand something. All it is whether the water is flat on top. That's the only thing that you want to measure is if that water is flat or curved. So the
You said we were going to compare it. Hold on, Dave. You said we were going to compare it to the globe map. So we measure the lake. It's 15,000 feet. We go look at the globe map. The globe says it's 15,000 feet. Now you're a glober.
I don't know what's wrong with you, Jeremy. I don't understand why this is so hard for you guys to understand. Okay? It's very simple to understand. If the Earth is round, it's further to go on a globe Earth than it is around Earth. That's all you gotta know.
Yeah, that's agreed. But what if the numbers they gave you are for a flat Earth?
What do you mean the numbers that they gave me? If it's
What if the measurements that they gave you, not the circumference, forget the circumference. We're talking about distances between 2 points. What if those distances that they gave you are distances of measurement on a flat Earth?
What do you mean on a flat Earth? Because the Earth, you got to understand there's difference between a curve and a flat Earth. You don't agree with that?
I understand.
We agree. No, we agree. Definitely.
Of course.
Okay, so their measurements doesn't even have anything to do with water when they measure the Earth. You remember, it's the 2 sticks in the well.
We're not talking about the circumference. We're talking about distances between 2
That's all
points.
that
The way they
matters.
measure it
The
is with
only thing that matters is the circumference. That's the only thing that matters. They say this ball is 25,000 miles around. That's the only number that we need.
Yeah, but we're not going to measure the circumference of the Earth, bro.
We're not
It'd be
interested
reasonable.
in measuring the circumference. That's what gives us.
Yeah, we're going to disprove it by measuring point-to-point locations. But the thing is, their point-to-point measurements are done with like Euclidean geometry, with trigonometry and stuff. They use planar math. They use a flat Earth. So they give us flat Earth numbers. So you have no reference.
You're going to
That's my
come
point.
up off that lake with measuring at 15,000 feet, and the globe is going to tell you, yeah, that lake is 15,000 feet. Then what?
When in reality, on a globe, it would be different. It would be longer on a globe.
All you need to do is see the horizon drop of 8 inches
Xanac,
per mile
please.
squared,
Xanac.
so that object will be 0.02 below level. That's
Yeah.
how you know, for finish. What the fuck's
Nautical
wrong with
miles.
you?
We know,
Seriously.
Xanac. We
You guys
know.
are talking so stupid. All you have to
let
do
them
is take
troll each
0.02
other. Stop getting
0.02
involved.
times
He can't help himself.
Yeah,
He
right.
can't help himself, Pyro. That's what his
Why do
problem
you
is.
got to talk? Why do you have to interrupt people?
What
It's just a shit show.
amazes me
It's
is
a dumb
Xanac.
summer hour. No one knows what they're talking about. You're talking nonsense. Yes, we measure the horizon drop. 0.02 degrees.
Y'all don't feel bad when a baller understands what I'm telling you, and then
Xanac,
you
do
guys
you
don't?
understand what Dave's saying, Xanac?
Yes, if you have one string floating on the water, and you're going to
Alright.
suddenly pull it tight.
This ought to be good.
When it becomes tight and actually isn't buoyant in the middle and actually is a straight line, will that line be longer? Yes, it'll be longer by fractions of an inch.
How are we going to know when we get it straight?
Well, you get someone in the middle, and when you put tension on it, that it falls down. So you know that you got a closer distance between you and the end point.
So you know how to tell if a line is straight or not by weighing the tension in the middle?
Well, where else? Why would the tension make it go bigger or less? Why would you pull
I'm
it
just saying,
tight?
if I
Why
had
do
a
you
1
go-
mile,
if it was
hold on,
flat,
Xanac.
if it was
Xanac,
flat,
hold on.
listen,
Xanac,
no, you hold
on.
on.
If
you
I had a
hold
1
on.
mile
You hold
straight
on.
line,
You hold on.
if I had a
If it
1
was
mile
flat,
straight line,
it
you would be
wouldn't
able to
move.
tell.
If it was flat, it wouldn't move. But if it goes down below the surface in the middle and not at the ends, then you know the surface is curved.
Just got to pull the line tight. Would the
Yeah,
surface
like a
tension?
fishing line or something that's neutrally.
Would the line break this? Would the line break the surface tension though, or would it snap before we could get it to pull underwater?
Have it neutrally buoyant, so it's just surface.
Xanac, let me ask him a question. Jeremy, why would the line on a round Earth be longer than a flat Earth?
Because the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line.
Okay, so if you know that, all right, that's all you need to know, right? What we're trying to do is prove the difference between a straight line and a curved Earth. On the top of the water, you can't do it because you don't know what the distance is on the bottom. That's why you can't measure the curvature of the Earth, because you can't measure water because of refraction and everything else once you get to a certain distance. So once you have that line stretched across there and you drop it to the bottom, you know the exact distance from the top on the top of the water from point A to point B. Once you know that the distance, then all you do is compare it to a globe Earth, and when it shows that it's flat, then you prove the Earth is flat. It's very simple.
All right, Dave, we've measured a lake. On the top and bottom, right? The top is 15,000 feet, and the bottom is 15,100 feet. The globe. We go look at Google Earth. Google Earth says the top of this lake is 15,000 feet. Then what?
You have to do the mathematics on the differential of that's why you have to know every 50 feet, because you have to know the exact distance on the bottom, right? You need to know the exact distance versus the depth of the water. So you've taken, for every 100 yards or 100 feet or whatever, you drop a line to the bottom of the lake. Then you know exactly how deep it is and how far that deep that lake is at that point. And once you go and you know the depth, the length, and the breadth of the water, then you know if it's flat or round. It's very simple. I don't understand why you're having a hard time with this.
So if you had this data, you could differentiate somehow between a flat or a globe?
Exactly. Without 100% guaranteed, no ability to hide the flat Earth anymore. Yes, this is the 100% proof that's needed to prove the flat Earth. And when somebody does it, then we'll prove the Earth's flat. Very simple. And it only takes 3 miles of string plus whatever it takes to do the bottom string. Very simple.
Huh. What math would you use? Like, let's say we got all the numbers, then what are you going to do? I mean, I'm interested in this, but I don't see how we differentiate.
All you have to do is figure out what the distance would be on the round Earth, because the distance on the bottom of the water is going to change versus the top of the water. You see what I'm saying?
It's going to change
on the bottom. Exactly.
No, it's going to change on flat Earth and globe Earth.
No, it's not going to change on a flat Earth.
Of course it is.
It's a short. All right, Jeremy, do we got to go back again? What is the shortest point? A straight line, yes. On their round Earth, there is no straight line.
Flat Earth, we have the water being flat, so it would be shorter. Bottom being like a bowl, so of course, if we put a line to that, it's going to be longer. It's going to be longer on both of them.
There's going to be a differential. I don't understand why you have a hard time figuring this out, man. It's like you got a bad mental block, real bad.
I believe the presumption of the experiment is the lake bottom would be parallel with the surface of the water.
It's like he's
I don't
bad
get
at
it, Dave.
understanding things.
It really shouldn't have to be explained, but that would be the presumption of the experiment.
Well, you can't presume that, because then
it doesn't matter the shape of the bottom at all. Don't matter if it's 50,000 feet deep, as long as you know where it's 50,000 feet and where it's at.
David, yes, it does matter.
It does not matter at all. All you have to know is if the water, what you're doing, Jeremy, is they try to tell you that the water is curving. Everywhere that you look past wherever you can see is where it's curving at, right? Have you ever noticed that?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the only way to prove that it's not curving past where you see it?
Make a straight line.
Make a straight line. You do, and how do you do that? You float a string on top of the water over to where you want to go. Then you measure the bottom of the water. There should be an 8 inches per mile squared difference on the other side of that line that they tell you, oh, the Earth's curving way over there where you can't see, right?
How do you measure the bottom?
All you got to do is measure the top versus the bottom. That's all you got to do, and you'll figure out that the Earth is flat. Why do you think no one's ever done this, Jeremy?
I don't know, because it doesn't sound like it's going to definitively prove anything.
Jeremy,
I would go do it right now, but it doesn't sound. I don't see where we're.
If a straight line is shorter than a curved
Dave,
line,
you on that biker speed again?
No, Jeremy. If a straight line's shorter than a curved line, then how would you go about measuring that difference, Jeremy?
In the two lines?
No, I'm just telling you, if a straight line is the shortest point, how do you differentiate the difference on a straight line versus a curved line? Where do you measure that at?
You'd have to either know. You'd have to make a straight line and to know.
Okay, so you've made the straight line. So how do you know the difference between that straight line and whether it's curved or not?
If we had a straight line in the first place, this would all be over with. That's all we need. Haven't you heard me talking for the past year?
Hey, you don't understand. We have a straight line, and no one will admit that it's straight because they want to make it curve past where you can see it, right?
Yes, the water's. I agree that the water is straight, but their whole argument is that it's not.
Well, their whole argument is, yeah, it's straight as long as you can see it being straight, but it's always curved past the point of where you can see it. That's why photographs never work, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, plus they claim refraction and
Okay,
shit.
so once you realize that no photograph will ever prove the shape of the Earth, then what do? You got to figure out a way to truly measure the difference between a straight line and a curve, right? On water. So how do you do that?
You would have to compare a straight.
You measure the bottom of the lake so you know if the top's flat or not.
What if they're both curving though?
If they're both curving, then you live on a sphere.
How do you know though if they're both? Let's say they're both flat. How would we tell the difference between them both being curving or both being flat?
Hey, Jeremy, I'm sorry that you just got a mental block, and I don't know. I doubt anybody's gonna come in here and help you. I can't help you anymore.
I'm sorry, Dave.
You just don't get it. Who else, is anybody in here get it? They ain't gonna tell you because they don't want to admit this is the way you do it. Who's in here? Let's see here. Is there
Does anybody understand what Dave's saying, or?
Not that much, but may I interject to pose a second experiment? You can then return back to this topic. Maybe this could act as a short interlude.
Is it
go
tangible?
measure the moon speed. We got you. Shut up over there.
Is it something tangible?
Holy shit! If you can just say, sorry, Laurie, I can't entertain you. I want to talk about my own shit. You can, instead of pretending that you know what I'm talking about, Dave, because that's not what I'm talking about.
Is your measurement going to have a tangible measurement of water curving?
All right, Laurie, if you're so smart, explain to Jeremy exactly what I just told you. I
didn't say I'm smart, so I'm instead going to describe my own experiment. So my experiment, you go to the equator.
Hey, listen to me.
Dave, please.
Listen to me. If you can't explain what I just told you, then you're not any smarter than Jeremy, so we don't really want to hear from you, okay?
Well, this isn't really your decision, Dave. It's not really your decision, Dave, because Dave, I think Dave at least.
Of course it is.
I think Jeremy.
What are you talking about?
Hang on.
We have a guaranteed 100% proof.
I think Jeremy needs some company. He needs someone that's on his level. So you can with your high IQ, you can sit down a while and you can let me stupid IQ, low IQ person talk to Jeremy, the equal stupid low IQ person.
Excuse me.
To find out who's smart in the room.
Excuse me, David. I'm trying to understand what you said. Do you reckon you could repeat it and give us a short version and be a little less shouty about it?
Yeah, I've been listening to the live stream. Basically, what he's doing is just doing the same thing when the airplane takes off, and that would increase its distance traveled.
Hey, listen to me. You guys always like to change the subject. Let's just talk about the experiment that I'm telling you. This is what you guys always do. You'll change it to another way of looking at it.
Just explain it.
Dave,
can you just explain it again? But don't shout, mate. Don't shout. Please don't shout.
I'm not shouting. If you leave me alone, I won't shout. Whoever just chimed in there, explain exactly what I just said and how it works.
No, you do it, mate. You do it. Don't worry about it, Crit.
No, I mean,
All right, you do it, Crit.
Yeah. So really, he's the new rift on the change in elevation, but instead of going up, he wants to do a down one. So basically, what you're looking at here is like when people say, like on the flat Earth side, when a plane takes up or takes off, it's going up, and then it would, on the globe idea, that would increase the distance it has to travel by increasing its radius.
Let me ask you something. Why do you think like that? Why wouldn't you say a boat? Like a boat going over the horizon, right? That boat drops out of view, right? So it's taking
I gotcha.
It's a further distance for that boat to drop out of view than it would be if it was on a flat water, right?
Yeah, I totally got you. I was just trying to tie it in with another idea. But
Yeah, we're not interested in the other idea. What we want to do is we want to prove that what I'm saying will 100% prove that the Earth is flat or round. No other challenge has to be given. All you have to do is this one experiment, and you could prove the shape of the Earth.
I'm still trying to get what you're saying, Dave.
Okay, the only problem with it, Dave, is that a lot of globalists, or I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to use globalists, heliocentrics or heraldry, I guess.
Call them globers. Call them globers, bro.
Yeah, the globers are completely made up word, though.
You can call us a bunch of arseholes, mate. Really don't mind.
Call them nutcase globers. That's my favorite.
Like heliotries.
I like to be called royalty. Can you use the word royalty?
Yeah, when I'm talking to you, I guess I could. You know, since you want to be identified as that, I can. If anyone can be whatever you want to be on the internet. You know, if you just want to be an attack helicopter, I could go with that too.
And you can do what you want to do.
So a lot of heraldry people will say that with the way the plane goes is that it's increasing its radius value. What Dave is talking about is doing the same task but decreasing the radius value, and seeing
except there's no way to differentiate between the curve or the flatness.
I'm trying to differentiate between you guys and Dave. I'm asking Dave to explain it, and you guys keep trying to.
Yeah, let Dave explain it for a while.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dave.
Do it for you, Dave. This is what you mean.
The problem is that everybody's got a mental block, so I don't know. There's no way of getting through to them. I got to get a hammer and hit them in the head or something.
Dave, is this what
Get your hammer out, Dave. Give it another go.
I got a hammer and I just hit you in the head, right? So you're coming to, and I'm explaining something to you, and I want you to understand what I'm telling you.
Dave, look at
All right,
that.
go. I'm still a little dizzy. But go ahead.
We get a string on top of the water, right, Dave?
What we want to do is prove whether the Earth is round or flat, and the substance that we're using is water.
All right.
Right.
So basically, what we do is we have a string, and we're going to go from one side of a lake to the other, and it's 15,000 feet across.
Right.
On that string, we're going to be able to, every 10 or every 25 feet, we're going to make a knot where we can drop a string down and figure out how far it is to the bottom or the depth of the lake at that point on the string, right? So now we've dropped, so every 25 feet, we've dropped down to the bottom of the lake. We figured out exactly how deep it is at all points, all the way across the three.
I don't get it still.
So,
want me to take a crack?
So go ahead, Kurt.
I think I can explain it to them in a way that they'll understand, and just follow me, Dave. Make sure that I'm not getting this wrong. So, you measure out the lake the way you're saying with the strings and the weights and the bobbers. Okay, you go ahead and you map that out, and then you've got your contour, both contours, and then from there, what you do is you rectangulate the volume. What you're looking to do is calculate the contour derivative of the differential. Is that correct? Does that sum it up?
That sums it up. Thank you very much.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
It's about right.
This shit does not have to be hard. This is very
Jesus
simple
Christ,
what they're
sir.
talking about.
Jeremy, even after you said that, Jeremy and them still don't understand. That's the whole point.
Dave, that didn't even make sense what Kurt just said. He's clowning you.
He's not clowning me. You guys act like somebody over here doesn't have an IQ a little higher than yours. I'm sorry about that.
Just because you don't get it, Jeremy, doesn't mean others don't.
Okay, Dave,
Exactly.
tell me what Kurt said. We got all the numbers and the figures and all the measurements. Tell me what we do. Tell me what Curve said to do with the numbers once we got them.
We just on the 25,000 miles of circumference, you're going to know what the distance of the top line should be versus the bottom because you know the distance on each line, Jeremy. It's real simple. One of the lines is going to have a difference in length if it's on a round earth because you yourself just said that a straight line is the shortest point. If it's on a curved earth, there's going to be a difference in the length of both of those strings.
Yeah. Arc segment ratios, Jeremy.
And Jeremy, when you measure your IQ, you should measure your IQ like I do mine. It just see how long it takes before I quit.
Dave, I had a hard time understanding what you were saying, but Curve's explanation was actually quite good. So it actually made me figure this out.
Good, yeah.
Yes, this
Nobody
actually
even
makes
knows
some
what
sense.
Curve said. Curve doesn't even know what he said.
No, Jeremy, hold on. This is a you issue. You don't understand this.
Oh my God! Are you
Can you
serious
explain
right
what
now?
Curve said, Laurie?
What makes sense to me is that Dallas
Yo,
Dave said it.
No, have Lori. Sorry, left lane. Have Lori explain what Curve just said just now.
I would love to hear that.
You use area differential calculation to differentiate whether it's curved or not.
That's nothing. That's not even close to what Curve just said.
How do you
It's quite
rectangulate it?
close.
How do you rectangulate
Not
the
even
volume?
close.
What?
You rectangulate it by using linguistic analysis.
With one piece of string?
Yes, linguistic analysis does work on a globe.
Linguistic analysis
Yep.
Yeah.
for language.
Let's go,
for the math.
Jeremy, let's go.
The globe is like a huge language.
Do I
So
detect
we all know-
genius amongst us?
We all know Lori doesn't know what he's talking about now. All right.
What makes you think linguistic
This
has
would
to do
make
with
sense to SE.
I'm a certified genius. Thank you very much.
Jeremy? What makes you think linguistic has to do with language?
Dave, did you because these other guys seem to be skeptical about what I was saying? Did you catch what I was going for?
Have you ever heard of linguistic forensics?
Yeah,
that's when you-
lethargical analysis.
You have to be a pretty cunning linguist.
Yeah, Jeremy, what you do is
boom.
you stand far away from a wall, you yell like a bat, wee, and you count how long it takes to come back to you, bro.
So Lori, how do we rectangulate the volume again, Lori?
Rectangulate.
Yeah, that's
You
what
rectangulate by taking the 50 differential analysis vector.
Yeah, it's taking
that sounds
the differential of the sum of the squares of the contoured measurement.
I know it's all a big joke, guys.
But Dave gets it.
Yes, Dave did understand what Curve was saying, so I may be full of shit, but Curve wasn't.
Of course he was.
No, well, not in as so far as what
no.
Dave understood he wasn't.
Hey, Jeremy, I sit right there and you agree that the differential in a straight line versus a curved line there's a difference, right? What else is it that you need to know? That's all
we
you
need to know
know.
if the line's straight or not. How do we know? Okay, we got our line going across the
By
the top of the
rectangulation.
lake.
Area rectangulation.
That's not even, dude.
Quit using my words.
It's not even,
That's my word. Rectangulate. I come up with.
That's a real word, dude.
Yeah. Okay. And how does it help us here?
Can you open this?
How does
'Cause you need-
rectangulating the volume help us here?
You're going to rectangulate the differential in the top, in the bottom string, and the top string versus a round earth. That's all you got to do.
Dave, you're measuring the lake in 3 dimensions. Is that what you're getting at?
Which one? You need to globulate, not rectangulate.
Globulate it. You got to globulate it.
You 325 it.
All right, Demox here. Demox usually he
Democ will get this. Democ